you ready?
This is the D-Generation ClixMania podcast with your hosts.
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Leckman.
The name's Ravage. Gonna be.
Will you take the dynamite tactics of
Miles Kane.
Hand me that bottle cap. Hand me that paperclip. Grab that twine. Gun wrapper.
Asgard to mouth.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
And Pete.
'cause I'm just Pete.
We're here. Welcome back to the D-Generation ClixMania podcast. I am, as always, your host, Ryan, and with me is Miles and Pete. Miles, how's it going?
Well, I've had a long weekend, no sleep, no food, just maniacism. Celebrating my team win with Pete.
Yeah, you sent that video earlier with Ultimate Warrior. It made me very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Pete, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. After probably the most amount of clicks I've ever played in a 2-week span, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, this might have been... anyone can tell me if they've had a more insane clicks week, but we had CCO 2 weeks ago, so I went to work Monday, Tuesday, and most of Wednesday. We caught a flight that got delayed at O'Hare, flew into Orlando late Wednesday with Ollie, and then we finally got to bed at, I think, like 2:45 in the morning. We woke up at like 10, and then we took all of our stuff down to set up for streaming, and then we streamed and played all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, took down all the streaming stuff, and then had to pack at the hotel, and then got up at like 4:30 in the morning on Monday, and then we got to O'Hare at, I think, like 8:30ish. Went from Chicago to Wisconsin, and then I had to get the stairwell painted before we had carpet installed on Tuesday. So went straight out back to Lowe's for paint, and then painted the stairwell, picked up my daughter from school, came back, and then painted the stairwell some more. Then we ate dinner and then went to our weekly Clicks night, and then finished painting, cleaned up, worked Tuesday and Wednesday all day, some of the longest work days that I've had this year. And then we had the Eagles stay with us on Wednesday, and then I had to work, then we did ClixMania, where same thing, went down there with all of our stuff to stream, set up and all that, all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then yesterday on Monday, still went to the weekly night and played again for 3 games. So I am absolutely exhausted, but it was amazing to go through all that still.
Yeah, each night lasted pretty long. I don't think I went to bed before midnight any of the nights.
No? Yeah, one night we went to bed very late, and then got up and played Sliver Pulp the next day. Mildly hungover.
Most nights I was still up pulling a bunch of pieces and teams, so not much sleep over the last 2 weeks. But the night, what was that, Sunday night, having all the stress of everything gone, I actually finally got a decent night's sleep for the first time in 3 weeks, I would say. Have we gotten any news? I don't think so. Anything you guys think
the
of?
Silver Age thing.
Oh, the Silver Age update? Yeah.
No, it's been a really slow week for news. Oh, Silver, yeah.
Yeah. So we can definitely go over the Silver Age update before we go over everything that happened at ClixMania at Adepticon. So we did get the Silver update list today, they took a bunch of stuff off the temporary ban list. So coming off the temporary ban list is Butterfly. And then Butterfly won't be restricted, but the rest of the stuff that came off all moved to a different list. So Wonder Woman came off the temporary ban, got moved to restricted. Cathan came off the banned list. Sorry, came off the temporary ban list, went to the permanently banned list. The Masters of Time 052 Darkseid came off the temporary ban list and moved to the permanent ban list. And then Joe Harris will be excited. 048 Ghost Rider comes off the temporary ban list, moves to restricted. Prime Colossus moves to restricted. And 048 Ghost Rider's on there twice for some reason. That's how much he's affected it. And then Kong. And Kong's probably the only one that I'm a little bit worried about that it might be a problem still. What do you guys think?
I got a hot take here.
Great.
I think 048 Ghost Rider might be the first piece to ever go back on the temporary ban list. Like, I just think in silver that piece is humongous. But I agree with you with Kong. I mean, Kong's going to be a thing in silver, so just get ready to build against him. I'm really happy to see Butterfly though.
Yeah, that was really rough
back.
to see him disappear because he was a really cool piece and made it tolerable for that first run of events where there were some big issues like Darkseid, who is banned now.
Well, with another figure on the restricted list coming up, I think Kong's fine because that's really what put him over the top. I think there's plenty of things that can answer Kong in silver. Yeah, he's going to be, a threat. It's going to be added to the tentpole, threats along with Phoenix Force, Thor, and others. But there's answers, and the one thing that really made him really, a problem won't be a thing anymore.
Well, do you want to go over the new restricted list then?
Yep. So the new restricted list, they added Captain Carter's shield, which was being seen a lot with the Prime Colossus. Carnage Surfer, Sakarian Iron Man, Wakanda Hulkbuster, Prime Black Leopard, Animal Man, who's the one with Kong, Sky Tyrant, the Plastic Man, the 048 Ghost Rider, the Colossus Prime, the Death Metal Wonder Woman, Kong, as well as 2 equipment in the Ring of TK and the Angler. We also have 4 of the one-shots being added, which is Hulk Mutant, Images of Icons, Crimson Bands of Sidorak, and Practice Teamwork.
It is nice to see that they're addressing that some of these potentially are an issue. I was surprised about Animal Man. What do you guys think about Animal Man being on the restricted list now? Like, that's your one piece that you pick.
It's tough because I like playing him main force, and I don't think he's worthy of the restricted list as a main force game element because you have to pay 60 points. But like I understand at the same time with Kong, even if you play him main force and a 200-point Kong, or even a 300-point Kong, like it's Kong with Animal Man is a problem. So, I mean, it's a little bittersweet because I would have liked to play him more, and I probably will still use him as my restricted game element because I just like playing him main force.
The big thing
I think he kind of falls into that like restricted thing of it's just seeing a ton of play. I think that's mostly why I made it. But the pairing with Kong is humongous.
The thing in silver though is that there's less slots for modern stuff on your sideline. So, picking Animal Man as your sideline piece takes away spots for other issues. Other one shots, things like that. So I don't know if that's really the biggest problem, but it's not going to hurt too much, I don't think. Seeing most of this stuff though, I think is pretty good. We saw Carnage Silver Surfer, Sakarian Iron Man, Sky Tyrant. I think those were some of the most commonly played, just like good stuff altogether things. Captain Carter's shield, that's a great addition. Way too many things utilize that for some oppressive builds. Black Leopard, so glad to see him on here. He was a huge issue.
Yes.
There's just too many new things that are out.
And I love that. I love that piece, but he's completely different what's available since he came out.
Yeah. And then moved off the restricted list is Ares because now he's got the errata, and Maggot's actually coming off the restricted list. So we'll have to see if anyone comes up with some cool builds with Maggot because he's been on there since the restricted list was born, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he has.
Ban list pretty small. It's the Spot from Spider-Verse, which is awesome. Wish we'd see that in Modern as well. Infinite, is that more just because of the way that games are in 400? That one kind of surprised me too.
I think so. Just him, the Infinite Bomb is just, it's,
Yeah.
it can be insane.
Yeah, I guess it's probably harder to clear out your back row when you got 400 points of pieces. Sometimes that math really affects the combinations. We see Darkseid that we mentioned before, which is great because that guy ruined an entire season of, was that states? Or were those regionals?
I think they're just regionals.
Wait, no, they were states, weren't they? Wasn't the first run of states in 2024? Or no? I don't
It
remember.
might have been, yeah.
We do see Beetlejuice getting added to the ban list, so we love seeing that. And Cathan, which that is what it is. There's too many ways to have him enabling toxic things, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it was state years ago that Dark Sith.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, because it was silver, so that makes sense. Very
and Butterfly
sad.
was the only thing that you can.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
Okay.
Very sad to see King's Tomb added or taken away from the legal map list because that is my favorite. Pete, what do you feel about the King's Tomb?
Oh, I love King's Tomb. I play that one. I mean, not often, but sometimes.
Not just when I make
I
you
am
play
a little
it?
sad to see that one go. No, I've played on it. I actually like King's Tomb for a lot of builds. But, I hate to figure out Line of Fire, so I'd rather play other things.
Oh, very sad to see that one on there. Do you have the temporary ban list up, though, Pete?
I believe I do. Temporary ban list. The temporary ban list serves to isolate characters that might be too powerful in silver currently. And that's what's been added is the Smash and Destroy Spirit of Vengeance Legacy Red Hulk. The avatars Khonshu, Amet, Tauret, My Boy Kevin, Rogue Prime, Smash and Destroy Captain America, Snow Arena Caps, Lantern Legacy 002C Kyle Rayner. Is that the first comment that's ever gotten added? And then the Some Terrain, Upper Body, the Head, and the Dumpster Fire. Sad to see the Dumpster Fire on there.
Yeah, that was a surprising one, too. The head was kind of surprising. Upper body makes sense. There's just another way to kind of slow down the game, I guess. And again, in silver, kind of a bigger issue.
I think the head makes sense. He already banned the phone booth, and so he just banned the two objects: the one that grants the shape change for free, and the one that says you can't use shape change. That's also a free 0-point terrain, so it makes sense.
Yeah, they're just insane for free points.
Yeah.
The Kyle Rayner, that's the one that enables one of the teams that won in our event over the weekend. So after seeing that team in action, probably best that he's added to the temporary ban list at the very least. And then some of just the more popular stuff. I mean, I don't think anyone would be sad if Rogue took a break in Modern, right? So we do see that here in silver. We see Captain America from Smash and Destroy, that Kilseum one that's going to be still everywhere until he rotates out finally. And then the gods seeing a break now were kind of surprising, no?
Yeah, I was expecting last year for them to get added. So it's interesting to give them one extra year before giving them a little break.
Right.
But I understand because there's so many things that have zero, or get it for free or even 10 points. They were a staple in Modern. They've been a staple in silver. So I'm guessing it's just to give it a break. I know a lot of people don't like that. That's the reason why. But I mean, at least it's consistent with what the reasoning for these temp ban lists are. Is that's just trying to give it a breath of fresh air from what it was the year before and different from modern.
Right. There's so much in silver to build with. It's not bad to lose a few things that are all over the place or were all over the place in modern.
Yeah.
I think that covers the whole list, right?
Yeah.
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 So, anything you guys hate on that list or disagree with as far as it didn't earn its spot?
Yeah, the dumpster fire.
Okay. That's
It's
your biggest
very
one?
regional.
It is very regional.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very regional. And by regional, I mean it's probably played by, consistently by like 3 players.
I played it all the time until it always affected me more than my opponent, so I finally took it off my builds. It seemed to have always messed me up
Yeah,
more.
see, that's why I thought it was fine.
Right.
Is that's not just for opposing characters.
Exactly.
Yes, that was a little interesting. I understand the upper body and the head because, like, let's be honest, if those weren't temp banned, that's gonna be on every team winning build, like, period.
Yeah. Pete, do you have one that you would be the most surprised about?
Yeah, I agree with the dumpster fire. That's the most surprising one because I just didn't see it getting utilized that much, and it affects both players. It's not like, the head where it's only friendly to you. I get the upper body though. Like if you're gonna start to get rid of some of the one shots, which I think you probably need to in silver, that's basically like fortify, but for free.
It's better than fortify
And-
because it doesn't matter how much damage you're being dealt.
And the restricted Animal Man being restricted, I don't know if there was a thought to restrict him as the avatar of Animal Man, like the sideline ability versus just main force. I think that's a little strange too, but I don't know that they can or will do that given how the format's set up.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen that where they've only banned something from the sideline and not the main force or something like that, with the exception of something like technically they're 2 different pieces, but like the barrel and the nifty barrel.
Yeah, I think that's exactly why Animal Man's getting added to the restricted, and the same reason why Chthon, because if they fix Animal Man, then they have to fix Chthon, because I think Chthon playing a main force is whatever.
Yeah.
You're paying to pay 300 points.
Right.
So, and especially that, I don't know if like, I mean, obviously Clay can do it, but he already does enough as it is. Gets in.
Yeah, let's give Clay a week off, huh? So.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about Kong, and I still think Wakanda Hulkbuster is going to be a bigger issue than even just building into it as your restricted piece. But a lot of the stuff that is played with him is off, so maybe that's enough where it's not that bad. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, you don't get the porters. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't get Black Leopard, so you can't build into Wakanda. Or does Wakanda Hulkbuster have Warrior also? Robot?
I can't remember. I played him with the Prime Panther.
Robot.
Not the Prime Leopard. So. Yeah, he's a robot.
Hold on.
Okay. I know it had
vehicle, Avengers, robot.
Oh, Avengers,
Wakanda.
yeah. So there's plenty of keywords there to make it good still. So we'll see. But I'm still not a fan of how restrictive it can be on big maps as well. If they would just go back to its original way that it sounds like it should work, where every character gets one, I think that's fine. But where when the opposing team of 400 points of characters gets 1 free action total and your team is completely unaffected by it and gets to take all of them that they want, that's not good.
Yep.
So, all right, we'll see about that. But overall, super happy with this announcement. Excited to see what people are building for with H for H on the horizon here, where most of the events are silver. All right, that's going to bring us to ClixMania 2026 at Adepticon at the Baird Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This was 4 days. We got to run this event. Tons of fun. We appreciate everyone that came out and supported us during this whole run. On Thursday, we were able to run a format that we've been doing for a couple years now. We call it Duos. It is a 2v2 event where you and your partner are on the same map. And we had originally we were supposed to have 10 different teams for this. We ended up having 9 that made it out. So Pete and Miles, do you want to tell me about the team that you guys played and how some of your rounds went?
Yeah, so I'll start as the A player. So we talked about it when we were talking a little bit about the double issue format, which I think is the same. I think the best way to build into it was you just pick the figure that you want that's going to be able to just run it. You want like a tent pole. And so I ran the Masters of Time non-swamp prime swamp thing with Animal Man, the Legacy Panther with the Ring of TK, Perdegaton, Tri-Sentinel, Phoenix, and Lucas, PJ, and Scott with Crimson Bands, Halt Mutant, and Spectral Armor, as well as Animal Man on my sideline. So my team was all gas, no brakes with Swamp Thing, and a bunch of support pieces because Swamp Thing was able to get in two attacks per turn, and he was also just ignored everything, so you could never lock him down.
Pete, what was your half?
Actually played theme, and I played an X-Men theme. I had Prime Rogue with the +1 longsword for free, Morph with the alternate card with the flying carpet. Who that's really a nice little play, honestly. Giving 1 extra speed to Morph and flight is pretty sneaky good. Then I played a Phyla Velpog from Collector's Trove, the 20-point one, which gives you running shot, pulse wave, and probability control. And then Copycat. My sideline was Fortify, Web Swinging, Ares, and Mimic.
Do you have any matches that stuck out that you guys want to go over?
That's tough. I enjoyed every single one of our matches. I think every one of our matches was fun. The one that did stick out was against the clones, the D-Generation X, not ClixMania, not us. They're not quite as good as us. And that was against Matt Prignano and Kenny Minks, and Kenny, per usual, didn't even put his team to look at. But he dressed up as Shawn Michaels. Matt dressed up as Triple H, and per usual, he lost his smile. And luckily, they got the buys, and he showed up late. So, but Matt's half of the team was Prime Rogue with Destroyer, Titania with Longsword, Perdegaton, Red Symbiote, and Copycat with Abscissa on the sideline. And then I'm trying to remember what Kenny's team was. I know Kenny had the Sorcerer Supreme Loki, and
He had Hercules with Animal Man.
With Animal Man, yeah. Which that's what 170 points right there. I can't remember what his last 30 points were. I think it might have been a Copycat Pog or something.
Maybe that.
But this was our game 2. And it's the exact matchup for why I changed my original build, because my original build had the Trove Juggernaut, and I knew with Loki being a thing that I just couldn't play that figure because I would put Pete in such a bad spot of him being the only attacker. So that's why I switched to the Swamp Thing, which I think was the right call.
Pete, what do you got?
I think there's a couple of memorable matches for sure. Obviously, we matched up with because when you go to big events, you play your local guys first round most of the time. So
Always.
we played D-Clix, which was Looper and Harris. And Looper played a version of the Vampire Brood Gang, and Harris had Rogue. One of our biggest matches, I think, that I took a ton out of is when we matched up with the party of Logan Pregnano, which is Logan and his dad. And they actually took the first matchup, so they took it 270 to 230. But seeing their team and seeing how they functioned, I think, helped us later on in the day. We also did play Joe Ruffing and Mike Donich in round 4. And Joe had a cool kind of Sinister Syndicate team. Joe and Mike did. So
yeah, I saw that one against
were
the
all great
Eagles
games.
round 1. How did you guys handle that team? Because they were planning on bringing in Hydra agents and making them spider bots.
Honestly, if I remember right, we went across and Ares bombed Mike's team, which was kind of more in the back, and then it was really pretty close between Swamp Thing and the spot, and Miles hit a huge shape change at one point, which then basically allowed him to get rid of the spot and Sandman in one turn or the next turns.
Yeah, because that was I rolled my shape change on the second of his 4 attacks, and that's the only reason my Swamp Thing was able to live. He also missed the ping trigger because I started the turn with Invincible, but since it was essentially unavoidable damage dealing with the spot and then Sandman had unavoidable mystics because he has Avengers keyword with the Doctor Strange. But then I was able to get to his special power and then free regen by removing the plant marker that I made for the attack. I was able to keep him up. But it was a sweat for sure with that game.
And Miles, that was actually the first time that you were able to play that format, right, in person. I know you've played it a couple times by dialing in on an iPad.
In person, yes. Yeah.
What were your thoughts on it overall?
I prefer playing as Sheldon, if I'm being realistic. I like the format. I think that's it's simple because you just pick whatever format you want. You can make it modern, so it's a little bit easier to build in. Because I didn't have an opportunity to play in the double issue, so it's really hard to compare them. But just from looking at it from a building aspect, it's a lot simpler because you don't have to go double check here and double check here. With it just being modern, I think silver might be a little bit different, and I think there is some tweaks still, but overall, I mean, we still got a really good amount of turns in, so I didn't feel like it slowed play at all.
Yeah, I was really happy with the way that it turned out, and just seeing everyone have a ton of fun with the format was really cool. That was our Thursday event, though. And Miles and Pete ended up taking it, so you guys got your belts and had a great start to the event. Then on Friday was our Silver Age ClixMania Championship. We had 26 people for this one. This was just standard silver. We didn't change anything for this one at all. Miles, what did you play for this one?
I didn't play. I did a commentary.
Ah, that's right. You were sitting right next to me. This was...
Yes.
Pete, yes. What did you play?
I played essentially a pulse wave team, because if you can pulse wave people a bunch, why wouldn't you? Hadari Yao with the Exo Specs, Prime Cable with the Universal Weapon, Mr. Sinister from the Slop with the Spin Ring, Mr. Oz because he's amazing, Dark Phoenix, Harley Quinn, Bardley Quinn with the Influence Ring, Black Shirt Porter, Madison with an I and a Y, but not where you think, Ring of TK on her, and the Skyscraper Wonder Woman. And she made... I'll tell you a story here in a minute. And my side was Abscissa, Brainiac, and Mimic, and my maps were Glengrove Cemetery and Monster Island.
Come on.
Now, Redman, before you criticize my decisions, there was actually some thought that went into this.
I doubt it.
So you know what I was No. You know what I was expecting to see a ton of?
Tell me.
Tri-Sentinels.
Okay. How many did you see?
I figured there'd be a team with at least two of them. One, I think, maybe. So getting rid of maps with no blocking, number one, helps me because I'm an idiot. And number two, helps me slow down the Tri-Sentinel problem.
Now, did you think to maybe add a third map that worked with your team a little bit better?
After playing it, I absolutely know which map I'm going to add. But,
what's that?
I think I loaned it to somebody that day. Not that somebody wouldn't have loaned it to me, but the Sailor's Dream.
Oh yeah,
that's a great map.
That is.
Yeah, that's a great map with this team. So,
do you want to go through any of your rounds or matches that were memorable?
Yeah, I can do it pretty quick. Round 1, Austin Plamodon, the Bronze Age building dinosaur. He curb stomped me the first round. He says to me, I don't think I can get across the big map. So I put him on a big map, and then I was looking at his team, and I was like, Austin, you can absolutely get across this map.
Oh, yeah, he can.
So, yeah, basically I was just getting smashed in my starting area. And he told me afterwards, he's like, I didn't lie to you. Like, I didn't practice really on a big map. I wasn't sure until I started looking at all my perplexes, and I was like, yeah. So he played the Hydra Avengers drop-off, and man, that Hydra, I had never played against it until this event. That thing gave me some fits this weekend. My second game, I played Alex Busey, maybe, who played an X-Men force. We played on King's Tomb. Alex, kind of a local guy that comes to some events with us in Kenosha. He kind of moved up into the middle part of King's Tomb, and I went first, so I was able to kind of just set up outside and just bring everybody in and just do multiple attacks. So I was able to go through that team probably pretty quickly. He did have a really cool final attack type of thing with Professor X, who was the only person left on his team, and ended up smiting a good 200 points of my build with by mind controlling Cable and had Ariao and some other stuff. So that was a fun match. Round 3, I played Joe Ruffing, Sentinel Squad. I'm not going to take any credit for this match. I'm going to give all the credit to Joe's dice. Joe could not hit. It was like watching me play most of the time. Like, I'm talking, there were things that just had no business missing. And so Joe was a victim of dice. His team was super cool, though, because he had 200-point master mold and just kept bringing in other Sentinels. So that's where the thing with Tri Sentinel and not having the blocking really, I think, played out big for me a lot. So, because he could bring in both the Legacy and the original
Yeah.
based on the master mold dial. So super cool. I think he came in with his prime Cable and just completely missed me.
Now,
And that was pretty much it.
did you see what he brought in one game from Master Mold?
I did.
What was that?
Joe and I had an ongoing thing all weekend. He said he couldn't win the $100 bet. But what if it came in from the sideline? Would I give him $5? And I said absolutely. So of course, one of the worst rares of all time, obviously, is that Bastion. And then Joe commemorated it by proceeding to take my $5, buy gold paint at Adepticon, and paint it gold. So it will live on in infamy forever. So good for Joe.
Oh, that was great.
It was great. My 4th round was one of my 2 terrible matches on stream. I should never be allowed on stream because, number one, I suck at this game. And this was the suck at this game where I misplayed my pieces a couple of times pretty heinously. Poor Thomas Hubert, he played Mystery Inc. He did pick map and put me on Sailor's Dream, which is just a nightmare once you start to get all the knockbacks and that. So this is kind of one of the conversations coming out of Adepticon. I wanted to just have a little bit of, like, there's a lot of talk about sportsmanship and stuff in cliX, and it's not fair to my opponent sometimes how little I know about my teams. And Thomas experienced that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So Revan's been telling everybody that for years. And so
we got to stream it.
I just assumed that you got the meta bug by winning the day before. So I figured you're just like, oh, okay, this is how it's done.
Well, and the worst part is, like, I try not to do that, but I do it so often. It's really terrible, and it's not fair to people. So my promise to the community is I'm going to try to at least know the pieces I'm playing and not expect other people to know my teams better than me going forward. But, we'll see how that goes. I did sneak in to cut.
For the first time ever.
That was nice. Honestly, I looked back, it's been 2 years. So... but before cut, we played my round 5 matchup was Matt Leaner, and he played the Phoenix Force Thor Tentpole team, which I am really fascinated by, to be honest with you. And the first matchup was really, really, they were both pretty one-sided, but he got me 400 to 40. So I don't know. I was so tired after playing duos the day before. I was so tired the last match of duos that I was just, honestly, my brain was shot. So playing this team, I forgot to put my Wonder Woman on the board. It was sitting behind my case, and I'm sitting and looking at my team thinking, I'm missing a piece somewhere. How did I lose a whole Colossal? And I realized it was sitting behind my case after the game had already been going on. So immediately scored that for Matt's because, he would have scored it regardless. And then played him and cut. Had a little bit of strategy discussion with the mayor at our lunch break and came out a little bit better. I went after his Dark Phoenix, who's huge on that team, and his Felix Faust, and was able to get both of them. And he was able to bring out Absorbing Man, and just the combination of being able to take away your rollouts and defenses is huge, and it's just really, really difficult. And Matt's a great player, so I was overmatched by both strategy and knowledge of the game, which never goes well for me. So that was my day, but I was very happy to win with Miles, like over the moon with that, and then also be able to scratch my way into finally making cut at an event after probably 2 years.
Very proud of you, Pete, even though I might not ever say it ever. Don't get used to it.
I've already clipped it. It's already in. I've clipped it.
So yeah, you ended up in 7th. It looks like we also had Corey Franklin from the Eagles come out with Brian. I don't think Brian was able to cut ever, but Corey did do it here. He had a
Brian
neat.
Dice our thing.
Oh yeah, we saw that live on we saw that live on the stream, except for when they were the exact opposite and Pete got just bulldozed.
Oh man, yeah, we can talk about that matchup. That's why I'm never getting on a stream again. It was so brutal both times.
That's on Sunday, so we'll get to that soon. But this is this is the Friday event. So Corey played the Legacy Juggernaut with Avatar of Animal Man, the Future Foundation DJ Doom with the Time Platform, Nico Manuru with the Ring of TK from Strange Tales, Kushala with the motorcycle, Elsa Bloodstone, the Prime with Trick Arrows, which that was his restricted unit. Felix Faust at 30 points. A Tri-Sentinel from the original one at 30 points. And then Wendigo from XDPS for 15. And then he had the Assist from Another World, right? Or is that not this build? I thought he had just...
No, it's a Omega level threat detected.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So Omega level threat allowed him to be able to bring in the 15.1. So Corey had a good day on Friday. And then coming in 5th was Logan Prignano with the Spider-Man squad. I only got to see him pilot this team once, and his dice were absolutely horrendous against Austin. Austin had a super cool team, which we'll go over in just a second. But man, there were like 2 rounds where I think he hit twice for like a damage, and Austin completely just negated the damage, and then he proceeded to miss every other single attack. And the amount of attacks that Logan's team can make in a turn is insane. It's Prime Spider-Man with the Blood Axe, Spider-Verse the Spot with Avatar of Animal Man, Black Skull the MOE Swap Chase, Carnage Silver Surfer, Kevin, Venom Magneto with the Biogram Image, Mephisto, and Madison, which I'm just seeing now that a lot of these pieces are now banned or restricted or temporary banned. Then we have Austin. Austin had a really cool Hydra Avengers team using the Kooky Quartet cap. He made the Lernian Hydra an Avenger. That had Avatar of Gaia, and then Starbrand from AV60 with Avatar of Animal Man, the Valken from AV60 that allows you to place, that we've seen a ton in Silver Pulp, Nico Manuru, that Captain America, the Kooky Quartet one had Mjolnir, Blackshirt Porter with the Liar Ring, Spider-Man from AV60 with the Zero Ring that gives all of the people with Avengers keyword team player. So his entire team also had team player. And then an Astral Scarlet Witch with the Ring of TK and Prime Hulk at 10 points with the motorcycle. And then he had the combo with Hogoth so that he could put that on Nico for the double knockback on the Outwit, right? They can use it twice a turn, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So I got a chance to watch Austin play this team. Really cool and well-piloted team in different variation and take on the Hydra. So really cool there. Then Ricky Prignano.
Yeah, he is a believer in Starbrand.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that piece do quite a few cool things. Do you guys want to take, let's see, Miles, do you want to go over Ricky Prignano's team?
Yeah, so Ricky played Man-Thing Mob, which is the next phase Man-Thing with Gaia, Spot with Avatar of Animal Man, Black Leopard with Mjolnir, the Lantern Legacy Hal Jordan Blue Lantern one with Khonshu, Poison Ivy Iconics with the Power Gem, Beezer Mikatakalock, the Ducky Deadpool, Copycat, and Baby Groot Pog. So it's a little different from his Dolphin team, but it's still a Dolphin team with the Ducky Deadpool, giving all adjacent friendly characters Dolphin. So it's one of those just like defense shell teams with the Black Leopard that we've seen him pilot really well.
Yeah, we've seen it at our local quite a few times for the bigger events. And then Pete, you kind of went over Matt Lehner's team with the Phoenix Force Thor. I think you said a Dark Phoenix with the Avatar of Phoenix Force. Felix Faust with the Ring of TK, and then Kevin with the Avatar of Towerette. And then you had the Prime Absorbing Man on the sideline with Abscissa to save Dark Phoenix, which I did see him do a couple times. Kind of a neat little trick there. Pete, you want to take the winner of the event?
I do. Max Kenkel with the Herald Horde. He went 7-1, 2490. This is an absolutely insane team that I think, as of today, no longer works. Indigo won with Indigo.
6th.
Oh, April 6th. Okay. Indigo won with Indigo Tribring. Kyle Rayner from Lantern Legacy. 2 Delta with the Darkhold. Carnage Silver Surfer with the Avatar of Khonshu. Eternity. Jessica Cruz, the Avatar of Towerette. Prime White Tiger with the Octopus Arms. Scott Porter, Black Shirt. Green Lantern Recruit with the Green Lantern Ring. Cordian Thunder with the Sinestro Core Ring. And Copycat. And the sideline was Black Flash Khonshu. 3 other Kyle Rayners and Towerette. So the amount of attacks that this team can make in a turn is just obscene.
Did you see it in action?
I kind of watched some of the match, the finals match, and I was Miles was explaining it to me better because I was like, I don't even understand how this is even possible to have this occur in a game.
So basically, he rolls his first attack. His main attacker is Eternity, who has a 12 range on a 16 by 16 map. And then also he's got all the improved targeting of a Colossal. Plus he has improved targeting, hindering, and sees through blocking without destroying it. And so he would have Eternity make an attack, hopefully missing. And then this is the Kyle Rayner card that he can use that that will be banned in a week in Silver. But it says free, choose an adjacent friendly character that missed this turn. That character makes an attack. And so he has a bunch of pieces that can use support surrounding the Eternity, and it misses its first attack, and then he pumps it up, the perplexes and all that, so it can get to I think 13, and then just starts blasting away. So yeah, he had an insane day. I know he was catching some flack just because it's not a super fun team to play against. I thought that the thought put into it was pretty neat though, but definitely not upset to see the the engine get banned though, because it's not great when you just kind of blast away. But the only person that was able to beat him was Ricky, so he probably hit the attack. Oh yeah, and that probably affected his ability to target from super far away. And then Austin had a really close match with him too. It was 170 to 190, so that would have been a neat one to see how that one played out also. He also annihilated Book Austin with 400 to 0. That's on stream.
Yeah. Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'll have to watch that.
It's short.
Austin's
it's very short.
Team was awesome. Like, honestly, super hyper efficient, ton of pickup power, getting wherever he wants on any size map. And that Hydra is mean. And Austin with the perplexes is able to basically be attacking you with a 14 consistently.
Yeah, it was a very cool team to watch be played. It was really fun to be on the stream and watch some of these play out all day. It was very weird to be around ClixMania all day and night for 4 days and not actually roll a Paradise the entire weekend. The one team we were not able to get on stream that I was a little sad about was Jay Major's team. He brought his Blackheart from X-Men Rise and Fall. He brought back Immortal Hulk with the Warlock Sword. I would have definitely liked to see that on stream for a game. We also had Gohan. He brought an X-Men team that used the Chase Blink from X of Swords. So that was very cool. He was pretty close to making cut. Kenny had Vampire Wolverine and Loki Sorcerer Supreme on a team with Brother Voodoo. Then we had 2 Black Lantern teams show up. Pete, you mentioned
Ryan had to go face them back to back.
Yes, and that was a bad matchup for him.
Yeah.
Pete, you mentioned Thomas's Mystery Inc. mob. He's another one of my like probably favorite players to see. He builds some stuff that people would not really think is good, and then proceeds to do pretty well in a lot of these events with those builds.
So
I do
I
want
have
to
a
give a
health.
shout out to Logan Shores too. He ended up last. He was about to drop, and I told him there's one more round. I said, your opponent's gonna get the win. I said, you might as well make him earn that win. And he decided to. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna make him earn that win. And so out of 26 players, we didn't have a single drop. And then Redmond, you just said you didn't play any clicks that day, but it just so happens that you had the same amount of wins as Logan. So, but yeah, no, I love Logan's a great kid.
Yeah, glad he showed up. Did
It
he?
was cool to see
He had a good time though, still, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Him and Steven, I think like for the fellowship, and like it has to be one of those two.
Oh yeah.
They were just like the epitome of what fellowship means for this game is him and I can never remember how to pronounce his name. Looks like he didn't play silver. Yeah, he is Lafeve, I think.
Oh yeah, Lafave, or what? Yeah.
Yeah, I pronounce it Labumafu. That's just it. But yeah, no, yeah, him and Logan they were like the epitome of what fellowship for this game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Going back to Thomas's team, I placed that team at our silver event where I played collector, and that team does so many things. I could never play anything like that because it's so many moving parts with the mystery cards and everything else, but it is a highly efficient team. So I was glad to see that he gave it one more run. Yeah, it's very cool. It's worth checking out and reading through and everything that he can do with it.
It was on stream too. Oh, that was that game that Pete misplayed his pulse waves. Yeah. But he does. You can't see it on stream too, though. It's a very cool Mystery Inc. team. And then, what was the other thing I wanted to mention? Oh yeah, the most interesting thing though of this entire Silver Age event. So 26 players. We had 0 people play Prime Rogue. 0. We had 8 Black Shirt Scott Porters, which was the top, and 5 Fenix Pogs. And then out of the 26 teams, the most anything other element was played was on 4 teams. So you have like Kevin, Spot, Nico, Prime Cable. So people really built creative, and it was very cool to see that. And I think this is really why Silver is just so much more fun to play. And a lot of players really took to task the builds.
Yeah, and they could have easily just played Prime Rogue, in Silver, and we didn't have a single Prime Rogue played. That was the most surprising thing for me.
Great to see, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over to Saturday. So Saturday was our Modern event. So Modern, we did this really cool thing where we said you couldn't play Beetlejuice all weekend. So Modern was a Beetlejuice-free event. And, it still played out, I think, kind of similar to how people would normally play their teams, except with the obvious no main force Beetlejuice. But the main thing is that people said they finally enjoyed building for Modern. And I think that's really what was important.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
I had much more fun building for Modern without Beetlejuice being there.
Why don't you?
And
tell
I had
me...
a terrible day.
Yes, you did. Why don't you tell me about your team, Pete?
I finished
you're
up
way
in last
down
place
there.
at 0-3. Yeah. Oh, brutal.
It's crazy to go to win an event with Rogue and then be last place with Rogue. It's insane.
So I'll explain myself.
Can't wait.
So I had Rogue Prime with the Destroyer Armor, Morph with the alternate card with the Flying Carpet, Zaladror with the Godkiller Sword, Legacy Panther with the Ring of TK, Phylavel, Tri-Sentinel, and the Fenix Pog. I did what I always do, and I switched my team up at the last second, so once again, being completely unprepared. And Crimson Bands of Sidorak, Absissa, Ares, and Mimic on the sideline. My maps are Ancient Labyrinth, Major Brock's Bunker, and the Mansion. So my first game, I was so worried. I took him to Ancient Labyrinth, and I was so worried about a piece of blocking that he put in the middle of the board, and I don't really know why, that I moved out my Tri-Sentinel and then went to Crimson Bands him and realized that I was completely out of range of anything that could do it. So then I made the great choice to move my Phyla-Vela up to try to protect my Tri-Sentinel and ended up giving up 35 points immediately.
Oh, nice.
So that was the start to that. So then Logan came over with his he played Wolverine Lord of Vampires, and he got it pretty pumped up and basically just starts going through my team, and then I forgot that why even play Abscissa or Morph with Rogue, and KO'd my Rogue and left my Morph sitting there. And about 2 turns later I said, "Ah, crap, man. That's a non-optional effect." And he kind of stared at me for a second. I'm like, "We're not rolling this back. I'm just telling you I need to remember it for the next game." And so he ended up winning 295 to 140. Super nice guy. Man, just a super great guy. I was so excited to play um, Wolverine Lord of the Vampires. So he had a nice start to the day, and I thought to myself, I don't know why I play this game. So I'm not even clear if I'm playing HeroClix sometimes when I'm sitting at a
Oh yeah, you
HeroClix
played
board.
the
I think
two
I'm playing a
funnest
different
players
game.
back to back. Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do you want me to go through the rest of my day, or do you want Miles to do
Oh
his round
no,
one?
I want you to tell me all this back to back. I don't want to let the fun stop. Keep it
Okay.
going.
So I played Stephen Lefevre in the next round, and this is again my mortal enemy, which I went and purchased this week, is that damn Hydra. Just so he played Rogue Prime with Destroyer Armor, the Hydra with the Avatar of Animal Man, Nico Minoru with the Ring of TK, and Harley Quinn with the Bloodstone. Dude, Steven, if you get a chance to play this guy, do it. He is hilarious. It is such a fun game to play him. His sideline was Halt Mutant, Spectral Armor, Crimson Bands, Images of Icon, and Shield of the Seraphim, Abscissa, Animal Man, Ares, and Mimic. This time I did remember to revive my Rogue, but it didn't matter much anyway because that Hydra kicked the crap out of me. I think I scored Nico, and that was it. That was the highlight of my modern tournament. Was right there, was getting Nico off the board. So Zala came over and hit. Rogue came over, and that was pretty much it. I scored that in his one shots, and he beat the brakes off me. So I'm now 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What's next?
and actually, the map for the first game is not accurate. It was not Sailor's Dream, but that's okay. And then we went to round 3, which was me versus Gohan Lee, who played a pretty cool little team with an Asgardian army. We went to Vibranium Mines. He had Prime Destroyer at 150 with Avatar of Animal Man, Freya, Tooth Gnasher, and Loki. Sideline was Heimdall Sight, Resolve of the Green, Mind Gem, Animal Man, Odin Ravens, and Phoenix Force Thor. So I went over, I pinged his Loki, immediately got him off the board with the Tri Sentinel. He brought out Tooth Gnasher with Freya and completely whiffed. I ended up spinning Freya a couple times and getting rid of Tooth Gnasher pretty quick, and I was feeling pretty good about where I was. And then he basically one-turned my Rogue, and I again forgot that Morph was not optional until 2 turns later, as I like to do. And then by that point, it was no point in trying to do anything. So overall, just a complete disaster of a day for me, which is what it normally is at these really competitive events, particularly in Modern. I think I was just so giddy there was no Beetlejuice that I made the executive decision to take my 0-3 like a man, drop, and go play Battle Royals with Ollie, which
what?
that was great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun Battle Royals. So
All right, Miles, what about your day?
So I had 2 options. I had one team that was built for Swamp Thing that if we weren't able to win the duos, then I was going to go hard meta. But since we won duos, I did bring my Juggerduck Wonderdon team, and I'm like, I want to play this. It seems like fun. It seems like, it can counter the meta decently. So it's the Juggerduck Troop, Duck Duck Juggerduck. I had main force Animal Man with Gaia because the unavoidable, if he clears, as long as you're not on click 4, he won't get KO'd and it doesn't take away his life tokens. Then we had Juggerduck at 50 with Crimson Gem, Wonderdon with the Avatar of Animal Man, Zala Jor-El with the God Killer Sword, Titania with the Long Sword, Perdegaton, the Canto Pog, and the Phoenix Pog, as well as Crimson Bands of Sidorak, Halt Mutant, Spectral Armor, Web Swinging, Ares, and Guy on my sideline. So the entire trick is that Wonderdon has a trait. It's defend. Friendly characters that share a keyword with Wonder Dawn can use Mastermind, but only to choose her. So everyone shares a keyword with Wonder Dawn, except for Kanto, but Phoenix fixes that. And I also have Titania there, and she has Brute, so that way if I'm going against the Rogue Prime, she takes a max 1 damage. And this is the all gas, no brakes team. I either win or I lose. There's no in between. That's just how it goes. The entire trick with the team is I break first turn immunity with Wonder Dawn, and I Crimson Band her if they don't have a Chair Panther. So that way I can get her in place after picking hypersonic speed, so I can go and hit an Ares bomb, and then followed by a Quake exploit if it's needed. And then I have Zala that goes over there first, obviously, and drops off Juggerduck, who's able to get a flurry in for a nice 5 attack combo if everything goes right. So round 1, I went against Joe, who decided to play the Sentinel Beast at 275 with Avatar Animal Man. He had Resolve, Fortify, Abscissa, Animal Man, Ares, and Bastion on his sideline. So, yeah, man, this piece is a menace when he's able to bring out pieces. He brought out a Magneto that I just couldn't hit. And Magneto was like decimating me, but like luckily I had enough attacks in to eventually win it 300 to 150. Yeah, that Magneto is such a pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily I just had enough attacks that stop clicks didn't matter. Game 2 was against Brody, who was on stream. I placed Wonder Dawn 1 square in the wrong place. I conceded quickly after only scoring, I think it was like 50 points. Because he killed all my attackers, and there's no point. I mean, I had like 30 points of support. Like, what's it going to do? You know?
Right.
So, yeah. Didn't want to waste his time or mine. Round 3, I went up against Logan with Vampire Brood Gang. He is one of 2 people to read the cards and then forget what the card says. So I break first turn immunity. Crimson Band my Wonder Dawn, and then I break first turn immunity with everybody else and place them adjacent to Wonder Dawn. So he decides to lick his chops, and after healing up his Wolverine, full potatoes him across the map to try and kill my Zala. And then I mastermind, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know you could mastermind to immune." It's like, yeah. And so I was able to wipe him pretty cleanly, 300 to 60. And then game 4 was against Max Kinkle, who was playing Loki, Sorcerer Supreme. Juggernaut, the Legacy with the Avatar of Animal Man, Eternity with Bast, Parademon with Indigo Tribe Ring, 2 Copycats, and a Phoenix. I was able to survive his first go, and then I whiffed my attack, and and once again, I was just down to just support, so there was just no reason, and I think maybe it was 10 points. So yeah, that was just a concede too. This team is just, it's all brakes. It's all gas, no brakes. So I was hoping that people would score low, but then my last game, I went up against Steven with his Harley Quinn horde. And this was the team that I built this team to deal with, which was Rogue and Hydra. And and I do the same thing, and he reads the cards and totally forgets that I can mastermind to an immune Wonder Dawn. So he sends Rogue over. And, his Rogue over. I ignore Rogue. And then I just go and kill his Hydra because I forgot what power he picked, but he didn't pick Invincible. And so he can, whether he removes heads or not, it doesn't matter. It's penetrating. And then I was able to take him out pretty easily because he just couldn't deal with the Wonder Dawn taking a max 1 damage because I had the Crimson Bands to make her immune. I had the Spectral Armor. So I was able to also use Web Swinging to place her, evade, and then Mastermind to her since she wasn't hit by the attack. And then I missed cut. I got in 12th, but I scored 900 points with Juggerduck and Wonder Dawn, going 3-2. I think that's a success. Nobody else has played Wonder Dawn in a competitive, so
Would you do
I'm
it
happy
again?
that I did.
Would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What would you change on your build?
I really think there's something that, Right now, though, I wouldn't, because in order to get Wonder Dawn going, you need Animal Man on her. And with Juice being a thing, because I didn't play Chair Panther. So with Juice being a thing, like she's just not good. Because you're not gonna be able to pick the power to really get her going.
Right.
So Juice just, that was the entire point of like these teams that I played, like with the Swamp Thing, that just he does not, like people can look at the meta tab or whatever and think that, Juice being there, the meta is the same, when in actuality it's not. If you actually look at the winners and everything, like I won an event with Swamp Thing because Juice was not here. So you're not going to see Swamp Thing win an event with Juice if he goes up against Juice, because he just does nothing. So I'll leave the team on the back burner. It was a success. It's live by the sword, die by the sword, all gas, no brakes. If you miss your attacks, you just, and at this point too, this is where when you go to tournaments, you're always hoping for the right matchups. Like that Loki Source Supreme team, that was really not a good matchup for me. And neither was Brody's team, with the spot and the arena cap. And it's like, this is where you're hoping for good matchups and just to make cut and hopefully get top 4. And then just, two of the matchups were just not good for the team. Overall, no, I had a fun time, and it was great playing Juggerduck, because I told you when I said I will play him.
You did finally
sad
play
I couldn't
him.
make cut with him, but going 3-2 with him is a success. I will say that I placed higher in every event that I played than the Eagles, so I take pride in that.
With Juggerduck in this one.
Yeah.
With Pete in the first one. So
Yeah.
always put
Juggerduck
yourself behind
was-
the 8 ball.
I don't
Yeah,
even think
that's-
that like placing with Juggerduck is like surprising. It's the fact that I was able to get 3-2 with Wonder Dawn that I think is the most surprising about the team. She plays so much better than people would expect, but she definitely needs to be able to take her free actions to be worthy.
Yeah, worth
And
their
Juice
points.
just makes her not good. Yeah. So
What were you going to say, Pete?
No, I mean Miles. I mean, if we're gonna go back and talk about the duos and Miles choosing me as his partner, Miles and I whole bromance started as duos partners, and we've had some pretty good success. I think Miles figured it out. What have we been in team events?
So
Miles?
we've been in 3 events. We've won 2 of them. We placed top 8 in the other one. I was undefeated in that one. That was when you got into the vortex of Jellybean. But we are overall 13-2 in 2v2 formats.
That's pretty good.
Well, so one of the fun things about the weekend, not being on stream, but going back and reading comments and figuring out how terrible I am at this game. But reading through the comments, there was a constant discussion of people carrying other people's teams or playing their teams. And I guess I don't really understand it. I guess if you're in a team's, like any kind of like sport team or work team or any team, like there's generally an expert and there's generally like a person that you as the leader and you kind of defer to. And I guess if you're going to play a team's format and argue with your partner, that kind of seems like no point to me. So I'm not going to compare me and Miles. I mean, Miles is a much better player, much smarter player, much more into everything. And so there's going to be a lot of times where if he's telling me the better play, we would have a conversation about it. And then we'd probably end up going with his idea. But yeah, it was just interesting to read people's thoughts on this stuff. So yeah, very happy that we
I felt like we
partnered
had
up.
good discussions as partners. I didn't feel like I was telling you everything to do and you just did what I told you.
I felt that way too, but I guess other people disagreed. But you know what? I'll go cry on my championship belt now. Thanks.
Excellent. Going in over the next top 8, we had Brendan Tao and Logan Prignano getting knocked out in top 8. So Logan had Rogue Prime with Destroyer armor, Morph with the Indigo Ring, the Pegasus Cap with the +1 longsword, Chair Panther with Ring and TK, Perdegaton, and Copycat. And then Brendan had an Avengers team with Ulysses Bloodstone with the Bloodstone, which I thought was neat to see because, again, this is an example of a piece that needs their free actions also. Just being able to do the flurry, like charge flurry and outwit. Otherwise, he's really just not worth those 60 points. So,
No.
Yeah, nice to see him because he knew that he would be able to utilize this character. K-Man Wally West with the +1 longsword, Diana with Avatar of Animal Man, Reverse Flash with the chain, the Cookie Quartet, Captain America with Mjolnir, the Scarlet Witch from Cookie Quartet with the Ring of TK and Predegaton. If you're wondering why Predegaton is in the event, that's because we did say that we can't change the event this close to it when the watch list results were posted so soon to the events. And then getting knocked out in this is all top 8 was Matt Leiner and Max Kenkel. Did you go over Max's team, Miles?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
Loki Supreme with the Juggernaut. Yeah.
And then Pete, do you want to go over Matt Liner's team?
I do. Matt had a nice day, 4-2, 1460 with the Infinite Mob. Matt played Infinite Avatar of Animal Man, Mogo, Sinestro, Legacy, Predegaton with the Biogram image, Black Symbiote, Red Symbiote. He had assists from another Royal Crimson Bands, Halt Mutant, Animal Man, Ares, and another Infinite. So the Infinite Bomb.
So that's top 8. And then round 4 or top 4, the match did not happen. If you've been listening this whole time just to listen to us talk about that, well, maybe you should have showed up to the event and you would have known what happened. But the baseline is round 4 didn't happen, and going forward, we're going to be addressing certain rules before the event, and we'll be abiding by those. So, moving on to the final match was Brody Babeldick versus Ricky Prignano. Miles, you want to go over Brody's team? Because I think you played it also, didn't you?
Yeah, so Brody had the Arena Cap with Mjolnir, Spot with Avatar of Animal Man, Reverse Flash with Destroyer Armor, Black Panther Legacy with Chair Panther with Bloodstone, Predegaton with the Sinestro Core Ring, Copycat, Phoenix Pog, and Lucas PJ Scott with the Crimson Bands, Fortify, Halt Mutant, and Black Fashion Mimic on the sideline.
And super close game, lots of back and forth. Ricky played Prime Rogue with Destroyer Morph, Chair Panther with Ring of TK. This is probably the coolest piece he added was Titania with the +1 longsword, and then Predegaton, Tri-Sentinel, Copycat, and get this, Snarf for support. So Rogue
Snarf won an event.
Snarf won an event, which is wild. But very cool to see. So congrats to Ricky for taking the modern event. I think, what would you guys say is the biggest takeaway from running modern with no Beetlejuice?
So like when you're looking at it at face value, you're not really seeing it a lot. But if you actually go through some more teams that were being played, you also saw Hydra being played. And Hydra doesn't function as well with Juice. Like I said, I was playing Main Force Animal Man. So you're able to depend on a lot on free actions. Even like the Brody's team, like with the Captain America, the Flurry is free, or, essentially Flurry is free, the Spot, Reverse Flash, all that stuff. That gets shut down. And we've seen that he had this team, I believe, at Red, White, and ClixMania, where he was able to get shut down by a Juice. I know he ended up winning it, but his team still didn't function. I was just glad to see like just different pieces, honestly, that people tried. Like Brendan trying out the Ulysses Bloodstone, I thought was really great because we really don't see that that much.
Right.
Me being able to play Wonder Dawn and Wonder Dawn being able to not worry about not being able to pick a power was fun. It was just overall, it felt like a good event. No one really, while I was there, I left before cut, so I just like the listeners am lost at everything that went there. So yeah, when while I was there, it was a great event, and we just saw some unique teams throughout. Don't just go through cut. Actually, go and look through the teams, not just the meta tab. Because the meta tab is going to be a little bit deceiving because, of course, a lot of figures are going to be the same because they're all the support pieces. And the support pieces are always going to be the most played pieces. And so I think the real big takeaway is that if you think that's a problem, then the real problem is where the design needs to make more pieces like that to do support, to fill those support niches.
Yeah. We had in top 8, only 3 of the rogues made it, so still 3 rogue teams even without Beetlejuice. Reverse Flash onto Captain America onto Spot onto Eternity, that new Strange Tales Legacy was onto Morph on 2, Ulysses on 1, Alfred Pennyworth on 1, Mogo on 1. So you see a lot of just different stuff that
So that
you
Alfred
normally
Pennyworth, like there's that that came up where he went to attack Perdegata and rolled an 11. Matt was celebrating, and Corey just stone-faced let Matt celebrate. And as soon as Matt turned around, Corey's like, all right, I'm going to prop you.
don't. Yes, I saw that.
That was probably one of the best things that happened.
I just think it's more diverse. If you really go through the tab and you go through everything, I just think you're seeing things that you've never seen hit a modern tournament table.
And that's what we wanted
during
to
the time
see.
of Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway from it to me. And the Hydra, like, is the Hydra going to get play in a juice meta?
I think it hurts him a lot. But he is currently, yeah, he had a great showing at CCO, but it's just something where it just doesn't function. It completely shuts it down. And everything it does that's cool is, using the free regen. That's like what makes him the Hydra, and that's just completely done. Well, that is Saturday. So final day of the event, we did Silver Age Pulp. This is the one that really had the most changes to it. We didn't really find Silver Pulp as it was ran at other events to be interesting. So we took all the stupid pieces that were kind of getting played together as just like the good stuff teams and threw them on a restricted list. So we had Moreland, Bloodstorm, Falcon, Blue Marvel, Kazar, Party Thor, Timebreaker, Mary Jane Watson, Spiderling, Rescue, and Nathaniel Richards. And everyone now had to pick which piece they wanted to build around. And I thought that was personally pretty cool. We saw people that chose Moreland. We saw people that chose Blue Marvel. We saw people that chose Mary Jane. We saw people that chose Timebreakers. So, having to choose your piece that just excels in the format and then have to build a team around that, it's so much more interesting. And a lot of people had a lot more fun. We also went to 16 by 16 maps only, so people were engaged a lot quicker. And what also helped was that we took away the enablers like Kazar and Falcon and Timebreakers and put them on that restricted list. So if you want that mobility, you're not going to be able to also drop a Blue Marvel down or a Moreland or something like that. So again, we saw action happen a lot quicker. We took away the floor. It allowed people to kind of just take from anything then and anywhere, any sets. And I think that helped people team build as well. I heard 0 complaints about that. Did you guys?
Nope.
No complaints.
Is there
anything and the theory behind that's always been too is like, if this is your introductory ClixMania format, right? That you're going to try to draw people in and somebody comes in with only owning one set, you can still make a pretty reasonable team.
Yeah.
In this format from some sets.
Right.
And most of the pieces were when you look at the teams, most of them were silver pieces.
Yeah, you can still pull from that stuff to make more creative teams. It rewards you still for having like older sets and whatnot. But at the same time, you can still compete if you go buy a brick, most likely. So
yeah. I mean, the team that won only had 155 modern points, so it's not like they're going to go and abuse it,
right?
So.
And then we did bring back the rule where you could play multiples of Real Name Various. Oh, and the other big change too is that we said you could play team up cards, which I thought was a great play. We saw a lot of people take advantage of that. Nothing broken, but again, it makes more pieces playable and let more teams have a chance. So, why don't we go? Who finished worse?
Well, I didn't play.
Stop
I'm not
it.
even on the rankings because I didn't play.
Whatever.
I'll go ahead and go over Oliver's dad's team.
Stop it.
played Guardians of the Galaxy, went 1-2. Probably should have stayed, if I'm being honest. It was just, the matchups were rough because it was just thrown together. It's the Star-Lord with the team-up card at 100 points from Avengers Forever, with Cosmic Rider, Groot from Trove, Drax from Trove at 50, Cosmo from Trove, Rocket from Trove, and Mantis from Avengers Forever. So this is one of those teams that had the floor been a thing, wouldn't have been able to be made. I think in hindsight, maybe Star-Lord at 30 points might have been, made it a little bit better. The recruiter trait definitely helped, but it hurt more than it helped because you just give those points away. I still think that if it would have just been a blanket 25 points you give the opponent and then they score the figure when they KO it, I think that this would have been a lot more viable and is seen more. The team worked well. I went against Steven in my round, and Oliver's dad went against Steven in his round 1 game. And Steven was playing the Spider-Verse Venom at 100 points with Moreland. The next phase She-Hulk rare, Ashley Barton, the Blue Lantern Hal Jordan, Ramonda, and the Shuri. And he was sending out his Pogs and his Goons, and the Reap trait was coming in huge. I think I got almost 100 points with just the Reap trait alone.
Yeah, that's a really strong thing in Pulp with all the bystanders.
Yeah. Game 2 was this is when he came to me and talked to me, and he does not like paper maps. His dice rolls sucked on paper maps, and after watching, I gotta agree. It was against Jeremy with Detective Army, who we'll go over. He made the top 4, but he was also using a team card. It was rough because he killed Martian Manhunter right off the bat, and then after that, the dice just don't roll on paper maps.
I hate paper maps. I agree.
Yeah, it's Oliver's dad agreed, and I'm like, you know what? I'm right there with you after watching this. And then he played Big Van Looper with a mystical squad. His mystical mob was Doctor Strange Supreme, Kazar, Avengers Empire, Fantastic Four Empire, Scarlet Witch, Orb, Deadman, Doctor Strange from Strange Tales 01, Bats from AV60, Etrigan, and Madison. And the dice were just horrible there. It was still a little bit closer, but the problem is that, when you bring in the recruit trait, you're giving them 70 points. And so I lost by giving him that 70 points. Because I won 310 to 255. So that 70 points would have been at 240 if he didn't score that 70. So.
And then that was your last game of the day?
Yes, that was Oliver's dad's last game. In hindsight, probably should have stayed. Maybe because snuck in. I mean, 635 after 3 games is not a bad score.
8th place was 8th place was double that. If you would have rallied up.
But that's also including the 205 that he scored. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You never know. Double. You were 1 and 2 though, so you could have definitely rallied back with some good wins. But
yeah.
Pete, what about your day?
I'll start with my team. My day started rough. Everybody can watch it for all of eternity now too.
Oh yeah.
I played Theme because I like Theme. Sometimes it costs me. I played Stardust from Fantastic Four Future Foundation, just one of a piece that I have a lot of affection for. Supergirl from Masters of Time, Phoenix from the new X-Men set, Orb, Spiderling, the die manipulator, Brainiac, because you need cosmic leadership, and he's like the best one I can find. The Watcher from Disney Plus 101A, for Perplex and Outwit, depending on which part of the dial you're on. And then Adolf Impossible, another dice manipulator. And I only played one map, Monster Island.
Gross.
Because I'm a simple man.
Yuck.
So, first round, I played Brian Dormeyer of the Eagles, King Brian, and I won roll and chose to go first, and he put me on Crematorium Imaginatorium, and I was trying to figure out what exactly his team was going to. He came across the board, destroyed my Supergirl, so I couldn't heal my pieces. I proceeded to hit one attack, and then he beat the living breaks off of me. I lost 340 to 0 in a very one-sided affair. I will offer you that that was not a Brian Dace game because he hit probably his first 6 or 7 attacks pretty handily.
10s and 11s.
Through some probs and other things.
Yes, I had a front row seat to that one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but it looks like you made up that loss from one Eagle the next game.
I did. So second round I played Corey and ended up winning 395 to 25. He played Spider-Man Family, and Corey's dice didn't help him. Coming across with the Spider-Punk, I think he missed his Pulse Wave twice, kind of that turn. And then from there, it kind of just basically cascaded for him. So that gives my career versus the Eagles at a whopping 1-4. So, great percentages there for me. Round 3, I played Logan Pregnano on he had a Spider Punk squad. Logan's team was really mean, man. So he had Spider Punk, he had Moreland, and he had Rhino, and essentially could basically get full map with 2 out of the 3 with a prob from Teen Lantern and some perplexes. So I was able to kill his Spider Punk and Rhino. But I just didn't have enough attacks left to get through Moreland on top of it. So having those 3 big attackers, really highly efficient team. So next round, I played Steven Lefebvre. He played kind of a defensive shell team, and I ended up winning 220 to 130. One of the nice things about my team is you can get full map with a pulse wave with Stardust pretty easily because you can perplex range and then pulse wave from a square within her range and line of fire. So you can basically get to the back of the board if you need to on the first turn that you can actually hit somebody. Then finally, I ended up my day against Jay Major. We'll go over his team eventually. And Jay and I had a really fun game. I had a moment where I could have ran off and made it a little harder on him, but I chose to stand and fight. They called last action, and he literally killed my Phoenix by hitting me and then knocking me back into the edge of the board, KOing her to go up for the win, 300 to 250. So that wrapped up my weekend.
What was your biggest takeaway from the changes that we made?
I feel like it's a more balanced format, honestly.
You saw a lot of different builds, right? In comparison, new pieces.
Yeah, and not just people like me that are stubborn that choose to play theme and stuff when it's clearly not advantageous to you most of the time. But I think just in general, limiting things like Moon Knight, who's a little bit of a problem in the format. I mean, there are ways to solve him, no doubt about it. Or Black Adam, who I love, but at 200 points is really hard to get through. Like getting rid of some of those and then using a restricted list. Like I don't understand why there's only one format in HeroClix that utilizes a restricted and banned list all the time.
Yes.
Like there's clearly formats where there's certain pieces are just too efficient to be allowed there, or that's all you're going to see. And unless you choose to be like Miles and play the fringe, or you choose to be stubborn and play stuff that you want to play, but it's not putting you at any kind of competitive advantage. If anything, it's a disadvantage. And so that's the biggest takeaway. I also think that only small maps should be allowed in Silver Pulp, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. You did mention, I did forget to say that we didn't allow any piece over 150, so that really only affected the Strange Tales Dormammu, Next Phase Moon Knight, and playing Black Adam at full, the one from Notorious. Miles, what was your big takeaway from the changes that we made for this event?
No, it at first glance it doesn't seem as diverse, but because there's tons of Moreland played, but there's Moreland played with different things.
Yeah,
like Steven played Venom with Moreland. Logan played Venom or Rhino with Moreland, so you weren't seeing the Moreland Bloodstorms.
Right.
You know, you still saw, you know, the team in essence, but because some pieces just are going to be played because they're better. But you saw pieces that you normally wouldn't see play. And I think once we see the finals and the team that won, I think that shows exactly why what we did, I think, was for the best of the format.
Right. So top 8 eliminated was Tom Hupert again, who really did have a pretty good weekend. He had a Stegron team. His restricted piece that we made was Mary Jane Watson. Other than that, it was Stegron, Poison Ivy that makes the Thorn Vines, Scout, Strife, the Spectre, X-23. Those are from Deadpool Weapon X, Iceman from Deadpool Weapon X, and Dr. Elia Gregor and a Swarm of Ants. So this one, he's played a variation, I believe, of it in another event and did pretty well, and so he just had to, only play the Mary Jane Watson that's on the restricted list. Then Matt Looper went and did the Doctor Strange Supreme from Disney Plus at 95 points. His restricted piece was Kazar. And then we had Empire, Scarlet Witch, Orb, Deadman, Doctor Strange, the 001, the Bats from AV60, Etrigan, and Madison. And then Kenny Minks and Matt Liner. So Kenny, kind of a play on what he did at CCO. His restricted piece was Bloodstorm. And then he did Batman Swap, which I saw a little bit more commonly. Ashley Barton, Dario Agger, The Spectre, Dr. Psycho, Maria Hill, Steve Rogers from Smash and Destroy, and a Green Lantern recruit. And then Matt Liner's team was Moreland as his restricted piece, Rhino, Primus, Orb, Ramonda, Shuri, Vanisher, Madison, Leech, Aunt May, and Swarm of Ants. And then going to top 4, this was easily one of my favorite teams here. So this is Jeremy Teleronic's team. This is a perfect example of why the team-up cards are really neat. So he made Moreland a detective with Misty Knight from AV60 and then played the Martian Manhunter team-up card and had a detective theme team using Batman Swap and then Jack Russell from Next Phase, Scarlet Witch from Empire, The Question, Multiple Man, Suited Henchman, and Suited Henchman because they're real name various. We changed that as well. He did realize in the top 4 match the next day, I think it was, that they were actually tied, and then they added up the target trait, but realized the next day that the person with the target trait was gone, so you would not have scored the target trait then. Is that true?
Yeah.
So it ended up, should have been a roll-off, actually. And then the other person that got eliminated in top 4 was Logan. I think you guys went over his team, right? Pete did, I think.
Yes, I didn't realize that he got to that high, so I went over most of it. So he also had Spider Cat, Madison. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, that's it basically. So,
Okay.
Logan had
if you look at the two teams in the finals,
2150.
like that just shows you how like having a restricted and ban list like goes.
Right.
These teams are full of stuff that you don't see played as much.
Yep. Then coming in second was Ricky. Again, killer weekend for this guy. He had a Deadshot, Primus, Hal Jordan, Orb, Red Widow, Manifold, Mr. Mind, Teen Lantern, Madison, Black Mantagoon, Aunt May, and Timebreaker. And then one of the coolest teams of the day was Jay Major's team, who went with his restricted pieces, Blue Marvel, bumped them up to 150 points, then played the Storm from the X of Swords OP kit, Phoenix from X-Men 97, the rare Nightcrawler from X-Men 97, Dr. Valerie Cooper, Red Lantern Recruit, Stepford Cuckoo, and Moloid. Super cool team, and was able to take the whole event with that. And again, this is stuff that we just did not really see much of. Like, no one's playing that Nightcrawler. Dr. Valerie Cooper hasn't seen any play. So real cool. And this was another game that was really fun to watch. Super intense the whole time. Any other standout teams that you guys remember?
No, I think another big takeaway is that even with the restricted list, theme, and there's no Perdegaton, But like theme is honestly just dead. It sucks to say that. We saw some teams play theme, but like the two teams that made the finals were unthemed. So it just goes to show you that there still needs to be some work if you want to try and get theme to matter in most of these formats.
Yeah, but this was a good start to, see with some changes.
I think so.
There's some more chances. And Joe didn't have a great day, but he utilized some X-Men team-up cards too. The Wolverine from House of X that lets Colossus throw him, and then the Psylocke that works with Colossus, Dazzler, and a bunch of other ones where if the listed friendly characters can use... are on the map. Psylocke and listed friendly characters can use Close Combat Expert. So she gives Close Combat Expert to Colossus, Dazzler, Gateway, Havoc, Jubilee, Longshot, Rogue, Storm, and Wolverine. So I've used that combo in the past with those two team-up cards too. Really cool to see those get utilized. So I think they should open it up and add team-up cards too. I know that there's a slight price tag on some of them, but, let them be playable. Get some creativity in there.
Well, and that's the thing is that they're not needed for the format.
Right. Everyone doesn't have to have everything.
So,
except for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I would like to see somewhere else attempt this version or a variation of this version of it with the restriction on the point cost, the smaller maps, and then allowing these other the team up cards, and just see, get the feedback from the players. I think having the restricted list was great, honestly, because it made you just saw more builds.
Yeah. It wasn't just the same bystander teams and one-man armies, So I thought it was a great day to watch games. And then I'll get Ali on here shortly, but he played an assassin team. He had a ton of fun. He scored 1,100 points this day, so this was his best event ever, and he had a blast playing it. And he even said he did not really have a lot of fun in the two icy regionals he played in, and it was for all the reasons. It's just like drop 50-point blue marvel in your face or get swarmed by bystanders. And so it just is, like a lot of us said, it's not that fun. So he had a blast playing it with the changes that we made, and I think that's what's important. The game was actually fun. Anything you guys want to go over about the event? I thought it was amazing.
I'm sad that it's over, and hopefully we can make it go back to back with it next year.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can make it an annual event. I think that it was a great starting point.
Mm-hmm.
Always room to improve, but I didn't really hear anything negative about it besides the little bit of issues we had at Modern on Saturday.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts, so you're going to want to buckle up here. To everybody that traveled, came out, supported us, watched the streams, gave feedback, thank you. The most important part of this game is very rarely the game, and it's more the community, and the community showed out. I did not have one bad interaction or bad game the whole weekend. To the D-Generation ClixMania crew that kicked in prizing, kicked in cash for prizing, because this all came from us. Thank you. You guys are the best, and thanks for coming out and playing and everything. To my wonderful wife, thank you for tolerating a bunch of dudes in our house. We had a blast after the event. I mean, I won't speak for everybody, but I had a super fun weekend. So
Saturday night was amazing.
Yeah, thank you for indulging.
Thank you never enough.
Yeah. To my ClixMania life partner, Miles Kane, thank you for getting me to the top of the mountain. I finished second a few times, and it was starting to wonder if I was ever going to actually win an event. And to win the duos event with you is like one of my all-time ClixMania memories. Not because the championship belt or anything else, but just because that's how our friendship started, and it was nice to just be able to participate in that with you and have the success that we did. So that was really great. And thank you for coming and hanging out. I had so much fun with you and the Eagles here and everybody else, Lou and all the people from everywhere. I don't want to miss anybody, so I should stop naming people. And finally,
Yeah, no, it was a huge highlight.
to Ryan Redmond, Ryan Ravage Redmond, Triple R himself. Take your bow, man. Your vision for this and your guidance in this and your consistency in this made this happen. This is Adepticon was a success because of the massive effort that you put in. And so I want everybody to know that, because I think sometimes you're perfectly happy just kind of sitting in the back and being like, well, we did it, it's okay, it's cool. But dude, take your bow. That was a hell of an accomplishment.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time taking all the credit for it because we did get a lot of help from our teammates, and we did make it a team effort. But yeah, it was overall, I think, a huge success. I appreciate everybody putting up with my perfectionism and making sure that everything is kind of followed through with, and just everyone did a great job of not fighting me on things.
And just to go back to how we normally are. Oh, great.
How surprised were you
Right.
that we were able to take the duos?
Surprised? I don't know. You had Pete as a partner, so you definitely, like I said before, put yourself behind the 8 ball, but you were able to do it. So
leopard spots. We're getting the leopard print belts. All right, just like I said, we needed to.
Yeah.
And you said no. I don't like that. No one else is going to want it. And I said, who cares about everyone else? Those belts are ours.
They're
We're
ugly.
gonna make it happen.
The straps are ugly.
Who cares?
Miles,
we're making it happen.
Miles knew what to do, how to utilize me my best. Just point me like a missile and let me go with Rogue Prime, and it was fine. It turned out fine.
It did.
So
super fun event to watch.
We can get back to our regularly scheduled thing of I hate your guts. So all right.
But yeah, like as Pete said, thanks to everyone that did show up. We had people from Texas, the East Coast, the West Coast. We had people that drove 4, 6, 7 hours away just to be there. So thanks for all the support. Thanks for everyone that tuned into the streams. It really helped make it special. I just kind of sat on stream and watched all the games that were in front of me, and just tried to help the overall flow of the event. And I really have to say, I thought it went pretty well. So thanks to everyone that contributed in one way or another, or tuned in, showed up, all that.
Hi guys, it's Ollie. Today we are here to talk about Adepticon. So I played in Pulp, I believe.
Yep. So Saturday you just did BRs because somebody had to go to school Thursday and Friday, right?
I know.
Yeah.
And I only get 10 days off, so I couldn't come early.
Right. Logan didn't go to school though, but you still have to go to school. All right, so on Saturday, you got to play some BRs, right? What did you think about those BRs, doing the Chaos ones where everyone had a different set for their booster? Did you like that?
That was fun, yeah.
That was kind of neat?
We all pulled bad stuff, so it actually made it fun.
Okay.
Instead of one person pulling like a really good thing and then everybody else pulling really bad stuff.
Everyone pulled not great?
So it actually made it fun.
Okay. And then Sunday was then Silver Pulp. So this is the only event you got to play in, right?
Yes.
What did you play?
I played Arculo, Ra's al Ghul, Orb, Red Widow, Des Travius, Yellow Lantern, Verusa, and Jeff the Landshark.
So you had an assassin theme, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because Des Travius makes Arculo assassin.
Good job. All right, so who was your first round one?
Round one, I played against Matt Liner. He had Moreland.
Yeah.
and Rhino, Primus, Orb, Ramonda, Shuri, Vanisher, Madison, Leech, Aunt May, and Swarm Advance.
Okay. And how did that match go?
I killed his... What is it? I killed his Rhino.
His Rhino, okay.
And then that helps a little, and then...
Now, you were pretty good with your target tokens, right?
Yes.
Because you still got 155 points this round, right? Yeah.
So I can't remember how many target tokens I got. Because first, I put the target token on Ramonda. I can't remember.
I think you told me Ramonda, yeah. So you're able to get 20
No, but that
plus
was
25.
the next match I was on stream.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I picked target for first round, and then I think I got like maybe 2-3 target tokens.
Okay.
Off.
And then what about your second round?
Second match we were on stream. My dice were on fire that match.
They were.
So he was playing the Uncommon Venom, Moreland, She-Hulk, Ashley Barton, Hal Jordan, Blue Lantern, Ramonda, Shuri. So my dice, like I said, were just on fire that game.
Yeah.
So Red Widow comes in with a Charge Flurry, rolls a crit hit, 5 on blades, 6 damage.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do I want to roll blades? I think I do.
Yeah, your blades rolls were like 5s and 6s, and then our favorite boy Jeff, the land
he
shark.
comes in with a crit hit, 6 on blades.
Yep.
Num num.
Yep,
He
that guy
just-
always punches above his weight class.
Oh yeah.
Just
I
eating
think
people.
I think he was the one who killed Venom.
Yeah. 8 damage will do it.
hmm
And that one you were able to win, right?
Yes. So
Yes.
I got. So first I picked Ramonda as my target token.
Okay.
So I killed her, and I kind of forced him to come up. Because I know, like, my Jeff the Lantern couldn't really get that far.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with, like, my Red Widow.
Yeah, he moved up a little bit. His whole team, I think, didn't he?
He sent out Solus, so I put Orb. He kept shooting Solus, like, forever. And then he brought his team up. And then, because eventually I was just going to pick Solus as my target.
And get some extra,
Yeah,
start
and get some
farming
extra
points.
Start farming points.
That's good thinking. But that was a very fun game to watch. You had real hot dice. There were still some misses on both sides that were very surprising, right? But really fun match to watch.
His dice weren't good.
They were not.
He rolled like 111, and I think that was the best he rolled. But it's still an 11.
And then round 3, you went up against the eventual winner, Jay Major. What'd you think about Jay's team? We already went over that one.
He was pretty good.
He was pretty good.
I was surprised to see Nightcrawler and Phoenix.
Yeah, they were a little
Those were
surprising.
Yes. Nightcrawler was really good.
He is, and no one's playing him. But maybe after this event, somebody will.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
he'll
got
pick up some
5 target
steam.
tokens off.
Yeah, you had a ton of tokens. This one, it was, 125 from target tokens?
Yep.
So you ended up getting 320 to 400, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you had a ton of points.
Most of those were from target tokens. Because I'd pick them target tokens and the Red Lantern recruits.
Mm-hmm.
So being like, there's 40 points, 40 points, 40 points.
Mm-hmm. And then you went up against Matt Looper after that.
Mm-hmm.
So what did Looper play?
Looper played the Doctor Strange Supreme, Kazar, Scarlet Witch, the one that did the crazy rally die, Orb, Deadman, which was surprisingly strong. Doctor Strange, so he deals damage to me for doing Outwit, Prob, and Perplex. So like all the good support.
Yep.
And then Bats, Etrigan, and Madison. So I think I got 5 target tokens again off. Just targets. And then so he brought my Zabu up to my Rusa.
Yeah.
So I picked the target token on Zabu. And then Verusa smacks it with a chain and kills it. Because she has precision strike.
Oh, yeah,
so
she
no
does.
matter what, you're taking 1 damage. And it's a bystander. It's dead.
And you had a lot of points. You needed a win to try to make cut, though,
I know.
right? And he ended up getting you. But he said that was the best.
Yes.
You've played Looper a lot.
I played
He
Looper
said
so much.
that was the best he's ever seen you play.
Mhm.
So definitely getting better.
Oh man, my last game was terrible.
Your last game was this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was against Thomas's Stegron
Stegron.
team. Yeah, he had a really good team, and it makes tons of attacks. I saw him have some pretty bad dice, so it didn't really go to the full potential that it could on stream. But I knew what it did, so I know that if his dice were working on his side, it could really go off. How did it go against you?
Terrible.
Terrible. It was not
He got
good for
like
you.
20 attacks on X23, and I didn't realize. I thought it was X23 that made the free attacks, but it was actually
Scout.
Scout, that
Yeah.
made it do all that. So then we did like another round because I got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
And then on that one I went first, and then I went full on to go try to kill that thing because he told me that that's what made him do the 5,000 attacks. And I'm like, that has to die.
Yeah.
And then he just like brought his Stegron made like, so he kept doing the double power action, and I made like 4 free attacks, and then the free attacks from the bystander led to 4 free attacks on X23.
Gotcha.
And then X23 does power attack, and then the other guys do power attacks.
Gotcha.
So he said he could make like at least like at the most a little more than 14.
Yeah, it's a lot of attacks.
So yeah.
It's really good if he's hitting and his dice aren't terrible. I think I might have seen Thomas crit miss more than anybody else all weekend.
I know he crit missed on my game to kill his bystander.
You need some new dice, I think.
Maybe.
But your total, you only got 1 win, but you had a lot of close games. You played them all out. You had 1,100 points, so you were cooking that day.
That was more than the person that came.
You got more than Pete,
I got
and he
more
had
than
another
Pete.
win even than you.
Yeah.
And you got more than Pete. You got more than Austin. So yeah, you had a bunch of really good games, and you scored a really good a good final score.
Yeah.
So you did great.
I came in 16th, and then I was supposed to play Logan Shores, but someone dropped, so it messed up pairings.
Oh, okay.
And then we played a game after I got out of top cut. His dice just
They were rough.
like 3 crit misses that game.
Ouch.
So I put Orb out, and then his main attacker went to Orb. So I'm like, time for our killer to punch. So he dealt 8 damage, killed his main attacker.
Wow.
And then Red Widow comes up and stabs everything. And then the brain, he was mind controlling Arkilla, but I kept perplexing on my demons. I'm like, 20, 20, 20. So he kept missing, and then, yeah.
So this was the only event that you played in for the ClixMania. What did you think about the changes that we made to Silver Pulp versus just the versions that you have played in the past more recently?
Definitely way better on all the stuff that's on the restricted list.
You thought it made it a little bit more fun to play your team? You felt you could play
I felt
different
like
stuff?
I could play my team better.
Yeah, and you didn't.
Because, like, Moreland, Bloodstorm, here.
People
5
couldn't
attacks,
play
5
both.
attacks,
Yeah.
5 attacks, 5 attacks.
And you probably saw a lot of different pieces that you haven't seen
Yes.
before because people actually had to build outside the box a little bit more. So you saw different builds.
I was happy to see Rhino make teams.
Rhino, yeah, he made a couple teams
pretty
before.
good.
He's really good. He should have been on more teams already,
I
but
know. And then I was definitely surprised to see that Venom.
me too. But he's good.
He is good.
He was good in sealed. I got to play him a couple times.
He's fun.
All right. Well, what is next? We got the Venom pre-releases coming up, right?
So excited.
So next week,
I'm gonna
week,
pull Null. I'm gonna pull Null, Dad.
you think so?
I'm gonna pull Null.
I don't think people like you playing Null lately at our
Yeah.
local.
Then I'm gonna pull the Venomax in my other booster, and I'm gonna get Null with the Venomax.
Great. I'm sure everyone's looking forward to that.
Yep. Because normally I have really good luck in my sealeds.
All
Normally
right.
Maddie opens some of my boosters. Normally those have chases.
Well, we'll check in next week with you, and we'll see how pre-release went. Okay.
So excited.
All right. We'll see you then. But let's get on to listener questions. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Your ass better call somebody.
First, we have Derek Benedict. Are there any game elements that were noticeably problematic for the health of the game? overall, with the changes that we made to some of the events, I think the players had a blast. The health of the game, I think one shots are probably the biggest complaint that I heard over the weekend, which is common with every event that I've been to lately, right?
Yeah, Crimson Bands and Halt Mutant are the dumbest combo in the game. It makes going second a moot point. You're pretty much first against most teams.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem that we saw at this event was one shots. I don't want to say biggest problem, but the most exploitable or most abusable game element would be one shots. For just what Miles talked about.
And the only other thing was the that not the one shot, sorry, the team up card for the Kyle Rayner. But they just saw that get added to a ban list on Silver, so that won't be an issue.
And once again, though, in Modern, though, I know we have Juice, but it's still going to be a problem because there's a one shot that just blanket gives all friendly characters can use support.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be an issue in Modern also. I know a certain Bookwood that didn't like getting machine gunned by Eternity. But I'm glad to see that something was at least done quickly. So I'd like to see that kind of speed in Modern to not sacrifice events. Then, is there anything else you guys had for that?
No, it was just one shots.
Yeah,
that was we were playing HeroClix, a trading card game.
Yes,
there's more cards than figures.
Then we have Brendan Tuleng Tao. What was the most innovative team strategy combo you saw in all main formats? So I guess why don't we go in order? So duos, I did think that Michael Donix and Joe Ruffing, they had a pretty sweet build. And then knowing the way that the Eagles had to mesh their play styles into a team and seeing what they came up with was really cool too. Miles, what'd you have for duos?
It was Joe and Michael for sure. Giving Sandman that unavoidable mystics was a great call.
I'm not sure if it was matchups or dice or what, but I feel like they should have gotten a little further. I think they just miscut.
So the main issue is that, like in our game specifically, an Ares bomb completely destroyed Michael's team. The Ares bomb just destroyed his team.
Okay.
And then it became that shape change against him huge. Yeah, because it was of course pre-errata, but that game was going to decide who would make cut. And me making that shape change, I think, is honestly the reason why we made cut and they didn't.
Okay. Pete, who's yours for duos?
I'd have to go with Joe and Mike. Having sat down and played against it, it was a really good build that really played a lot to both offensive and defensive strengths of the pieces. And I agree with Miles. Analyzation of it is that honestly the Ares bomb and him hitting a shape change really was the difference between us making cut or missing cut.
Mm-hmm.
So that Doctor Strange, man, he just is getting better and better and better. So I really like Joe and Mike's team a lot.
Then Silver, I would have to say Austin the Lost Dinosaurs build, the Hydra Avengers, was really cool to watch that one. I got to see that one get played against Logan on stream, so that one was... He played that whole team just like a well-oiled machine, and everything just kind of went right for him, and he looked so good playing that build, that game.
Well, that's why the Hydra is now called the Plamodon. Like, we've always wondered, like, what kind of dinosaur a Plamodon is. It's a Hydra. And that was honestly, that's my pick too. He built the team and I tested it with him a few times, and yeah, it is a well-oiled machine. That he just, I'm glad to see that he was able to make Falcon work in Silver instead of just Silver Pulp, where people just thought that was the only place he was in.
Right.
Yeah, no, right. Getting the Hydra to get a 4 through 6 senses because he now has Mystics, Team Player, as well as the Avengers TA is just, that Hydra it is a lot to chew through, and it almost feels bad. Like if you can't one turn it, it's like you might as well not even go for it.
Well, yeah, the one turn that it took 2 clicks of damage, passed right back to him. He healed with Gaia, and then healed it back up with Black Shirt Scott Porter, and then was right back to the top. So, yeah, it was a really cool team.
Yeah, it was rough seeing that.
Pete, what about silver for you?
There's a ton of builds that I loved in the silver event.
It was hard to pick.
Yeah, I think I like Corey Franklin's build with the mystical. I love theme, so seeing him play like a lot of the classic mystical pieces was great. Dude, Austin's team was awesome, and once he figured out he could get the full map, I was anxious to see how he did the rest of the day. I do like Matt Leaner's team, the Phoenix Force Thor. It's really, really, really destructive when it gets going, and it's hard to deal with because you have to get rid of the Dark Phoenix and the Faust, or you really have no chance against it in a lot of matchups. But I think my favorite one's going to go back to Joe Ruffing, dude. Playing Master Mold with the box of Sentinels, and just popping out more Sentinels. Now Joe gave up some points, but man, it was just a fun team to see on a board and play against. So yeah, he said it right. He said it's the highest scoring 3-2 build you've ever seen. So and then obviously Golden Bastion coming out of that too was hilarious to me.
I did like Gohan's build too, using the Chase Blink. I thought that piece was really neat. Just never got really a chance to do much in Prime Cable. What about Modern? So Modern, I would say, he did get stomped, but Miles Juggerduck Wonderdon team might have been my favorite Modern team, to be honest with you.
I did not get stomped.
You got
I went
stomped.
3-2.
I watched you get stomped at least.
I
watched
whatever.
Yep.
I got stomped against a spot. Whatever. I got stomped in a few games, but I won more games than I lost.
You did.
That's
you
all
did.
that matters.
Yep. After getting stomped, you were sent to the bottom, and so it was probably a little easier to get some more points and wins after that.
Yeah. Whatever it takes. Okay, that's the strategy of the old Miles.
What was your favorite Modern build, though, Miles?
It was honestly mine. Like, let's be honest. But not picking me. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Brian. Because I'm sorry, it's Wonderdon. Like,
yeah,
no one plays Wonderdon. It's just it was just so fun to pilot. And one of my favorite teams since probably the Red Hulk Gamma Bomb team that I've ran and played. But no, Brian's Loki Sorcerer Supreme Hydra team with Nico and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
It was really fun to play against that in testing in the Eagles dojo. And Brian Dice did fail him. He did go 3-2, got 13th, so he placed right underneath Wonderdon. So, but it was a fun team he plays the Loki a little bit different.
Yeah, that's actually a team I would have liked to get on stream. I didn't get to catch him on Modern Day.
Yeah, it's his team. He plays Loki a little bit different. I think Loki is one of those things that is not doing what people think, and so I think he's gonna be forgotten. But I still think that he is problematic with him being able to be self-triggered and this game. I think that once his click is revealed, this game, as long as Loki's on the map, I think is totally fine. And as well, as long as they get rid of the self-triggering. The self-triggering part is the part that I don't like.
Agreed.
But as a figure, I think he plays well. Playing against him, testing against him, it's just what he can do and how he's designed with the game, being able to self-damage and just having it be this game to where, like, even if you KO him, like, you don't get anything back.
Pete, what about you? Favorite Modern build?
Not to show bias, but it's Miles. I mean, dude, Wonderdon, Juggerduck, going 3-2. One of these days, HeroClix is really in trouble when Miles stops playing Miles builds and just goes for the straight meta cheese. Then people are gonna be really wondering why they play this game sometimes. But that one was just super cool. When he was explaining it to me, I'm like, I just said you're gonna win quick, or you're gonna win big or lose big. But I like it. That's how I play. Win fast, lose fast. Mostly lose fast, but that's what you like to do. So go for it.
Yeah, when you're a smoker, like, that's where the duos like really killed me. I don't like going to time. I want to play my game. I want to smoke. So it's just Win big, lose big. No in between.
Goals. Then we have Silver Pulp. So a little biased for me, but I really did like Ollie's Assassin build that we built a while back. But Jay being able to take it with his team to the top was awesome. Just the tweak making the 150 Blue Marvel the tent pole, getting Nightcrawler on the build, and just a couple other pieces that we really haven't seen play that much. He had the Red Lantern Recruit, Moloid, Valerie Cooper, and the 15-point support. What's her name? The Cuckoo. So I think it really was Jay's team that was able to take some forgotten pieces and bring them to the limelight and win.
Yeah, there's a few interesting Silver Pulp teams. I did like Jay's team. Looper's team was really fun to play against, and I'm going to show my bias. My bias for Jeremy's team. I love me some Martian Manhunter.
Oh, that was up there too. Yeah,
and the two that I teamed up with Teresa. And he's just such a fun piece to play. And so it was cool to see him get top 4. And yeah, he could have made the finals if he would have realized that, but he also could not have. And he even said that he's like, if it costed me the game, I would have been upset. But the fact that it would have been a roll off, he's like, I would have lost. So, yeah, but it was still a great team.
I'm glad we did get that one on stream. That was a cool game to watch too. Pete, what was your favorite Silver Pulp build?
I really liked Jeremy's team. I really liked Matt Vanderloop's team. And I have to say I like King Brian's team because it beat the brakes off me in the most brutal fashion I think I've had in a while. But Thomas Hubert's Stegron squad, if you really look at everything this team does, it is still a POG team, but what he's really utilizing is that trait on Scout, and then the family bonding, and then he also has another piece that has family bonding if you do just get rid of Scout. So it's just really a ton of attacks. And those guys from Michigan, man, they bring some interesting stuff. And really kind of brutal stuff sometimes when you play against it and you're not understanding what the team's doing.
Yeah, I love that.
I like Thomas's a lot.
I love when they're able to make it to an event because they always add something to the local meta. Even though we're not that far away, it still feels like it's a little bit regional, and what they do is definitely cool. All right, moving on to Nick Ballou. Player collusion and cheating. There are players known in our small community for unfortunate and less savory play styles, but how do we work on eliminating these types of situations from larger events? So the biggest thing is that there are not set rules that are defined and consequences for those things. So recently, just on this post alone, Aaron Morgan did respond to this on the Facebook page. But we do want to say that we will be having very clear rules for our future events, no matter what. But he is updating a rules document, I'm guessing, for the Rock, which, if that's great, then we're going to follow that. And we're going to be extremely clear with how we're going to deal with situations like that going forward. Is there anything that you guys would like to add to that?
I take integrity very seriously, and it's very sad to see that some people just don't. And they see it as, well, since it's not in the rules, it's okay. And that's where self-integrity and it really comes into play. And it's really sad to see people with a lack of that integrity. And I'm gonna see how many more times I can say integrity.
What about like intelligence or intensity?
Yeah, no, the 3 eyes. I live my life by the 3 eyes: intelligence, intensity, and integrity.
It's true. It's true.
I don't expect everyone to live by the 3 eyes, but what I do is expect people to live by at least one, and that's have some integrity. Like, not just as a player, but as a person. Morally that, come on now. It does not need to be spelled out for you. The fact that people are arguing that it does, I think, speaks volumes about the person themselves with their lack of integrity.
Pete?
I think this is something that WizKids needs to direct definitively addressed and direct answers definitively. We're a small community. I mean, everybody knows everybody knows everybody, okay? And there's always discussions, and people may admit to this or not admit to this in certain circles. That's fine. There's certain people that you're going to play that there's going to be things that you really have to watch in the game. And I'll just use myself as an example and won't drag anybody else. You have to watch the fact that I'm even playing HeroClix most of the time because I'm stupid. So when I have my games like I've had where I misplay my pieces and it costs me, I don't care because that's on me, right? Like I wasn't prepared. I didn't think through my moves. I didn't remember what my team did. But when I do it inappropriately and it costs someone else, I feel terrible about it because that's not the experience that I want for people. I want people to come and enjoy a hobby that I enjoy and interact and have a good time and not have their day messed up potentially because of something that I didn't do properly. So, piggybacking off of that and going back to Nick's question, I think WizKids and The Rock and any tournament organizer needs to be very, very specific. If this behavior happens, it will not be tolerated, and it can forfeit your tournament day and potentially future interactions with these formats that are ran by these people. Because there's just no room for it. We don't need this stuff. It's not worth it. It's not worth you winning a couple $100 in prizing most of the time,
if that,
and screwing up somebody else's day. I mean, there's plenty of other games and outlets that if that's your biggest focus, I think that maybe channel that energy into a more positive thing.
Well said. All right, going to go to Anthony Barnstable. Comparing the meta of ClixMania's modern event to CCO's modern event, because the difference between the two was only Beetlejuice, what differences did you notice in the meta breakdown? What did the numbers show as the differences? I would say, number one, people said they enjoyed building for modern for the first time in a very long time. That was my biggest takeaway. As far as numbers go, Rogue still won, but only 5 people played her in the field. People did not feel like they had to play her because they knew that there were other things that weren't going to get shut down. And so, why not build something I want to have fun playing?
Swamp Thing won an event because there was no Beetlejuice. I will beat that drum. I think that we saw a little bit more play from Spot, and as well as Arena Cap. And I know that those pieces still were staples, but it was actually fun to build for modern. Like even with the threat of like Loki, it was still fun because I was able to get figures that just normally don't function. Now I realize that Loki can make things not function, but
there's only 2 in the
it's
field.
A lot more different.
Yeah,
there were So, and I did go. There's a few figures that I wanted to play that I was scared to play against because Loki was in there. So it wasn't the wild west of everything being viable because all it took would be a Loki matchup. But everything I wanted to play, luckily didn't really get hampered down by Loki.
Did you didn't go up against one, right?
I did.
You did go up against the Loki?
Yeah, we beat it in duos, and then I lost to it in modern.
Oh, who'd you fight in modern then?
It was Max.
Oh, okay. How do you feel like that affected your team then when it went off?
That didn't affect my team. My team was built to deal with that.
Okay.
The main issue is building a team that is able to functionally deal with both Juice and Loki. And I've said this before, that if you're going to allow Juice, then that's where Loki becomes the bigger issue. Is because things that function well against Loki don't function well against Juice. And so you're also going to be seeing the teams are able to be bringing into him. Like I said, I didn't bring in Chair Panther. So if he had the Loki trick with Juice, my team wouldn't have functioned, be it with special powers, team abilities, or even free actions. And that's where my main gripe is the fact that those two combined stifle so much more. than just Loki on his own, or even Juiceberg on his own.
Yeah. Pete, what about you?
I think the biggest feedback was that people had more fun building because it opened up options for pieces that you just simply won't even bother looking at right now in Modern with the prevalence of Beetlejuice and what's going to be coming with Loki, and that's already there with Gauntlet Spidey. So I don't know. As far as the numbers, I didn't really look hard and compare the data the two, so I don't know if there's a significant percentage difference or anything else of something that got played or that. But I can tell you there were pieces I'd never seen hit a table in a Modern event in a while.
So if the figures that you think would be top were top, Chair Panther, Copycat. I have the screenshots on my phone, but the Copycat, the Phoenix Pog, the Chair Panther, and the Predagon, with us having Predagon, they were obviously the top four, per usual, and that's going to always happen when you're looking at a meta tab because people are always going to be playing the same support because there's just nothing better for their points. Like there's not. You can't look at one of those four pieces and go, well, I want to play this instead. Like nothing functionally does anywhere near what those figures do. So that's where it's still in the support era. But if you remove the support and you take those out, it was a lot more diverse than what you would think. Comparatively,
the biggest thing is that the
piece.
percentages of the stuff at the top was less because people played other things, and that's the biggest takeaway from the numbers. More things were playable and people played more things, and because of that, this was our main goal. People had more fun.
I will say though that Joe Ruffing had the biggest boo-boo of the day in Modern.
What was that?
I don't think anyone has ever done it before, so I just wanted to give Joe a no prize. So he brought out his Magneto and decided to Psychic Blast the Legacy Juggernaut. And the Legacy Juggernaut says, when he is dealt penetrating damage after resolutions, deal the attacker one unavoidable. So Corey got 250.
Wow.
Because he was winning the game pretty handily because Corey wasn't able to really deal with the Sentinel Beast.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yeah, that's a rough mistake.
And he gave, you could say it was roughing,
That was roughing.
Yeah. So.
All right. Number 2, I want to also take a moment to say thank you for running the test and taking the time to do an event and show what difference occurs as a result, especially when it pairs nicely with a different event where that one change is the only difference between the two in terms of legal game elements, errata, etc. That is something I don't know that I have ever seen another group have the passion to do before, and I appreciate your dedication for it. Well, thanks for acknowledging that, Anthony. Appreciate it. And thank you in general for all of your hard work at Adepticon. I'm sorry I had to miss it. I was at Disney World instead. Is ClixMania more fun than Disney World, in your opinion? Did I choose wrong? I think you definitely chose wrong. Disney will always be there, and ClixMania is only once per year. Then number 3, how did the demo learn to play sessions go? What percentage of event tickets sold for those? So when we tried to go back and add tickets for Learn to Plays, the event system was maxed out on being able to add more events. So we did have a surprising amount of people come to do BRs, and those kind of acted like Learn to Plays for some groups over the course of the weekend. So I do still think it was successful, but it wasn't your black and white, sign up, demo a game, and see if people are interested in it, just because we weren't able to do that. But we definitely had players come that were very new and did kind of trial it while learning for BRs. And so Aaron was able to jump in on some of the BRs and kind of show them ropes and teach them the games. I think he said that we actually even had a couple, I think it was 2 guys come in. They actually went from Milwaukee, drove probably at least 45 minutes south to our local store, went and bought some HeroClix, and then came back and played more. So I thought that was one of the cooler stories of the weekend too. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, no, I saw those 2, and that was awesome. Yeah, I saw them doing a BR with a lady too, which is awesome. And they all seem to, be having fun. So it seemed like a success. It was that we were in a different area, so
we didn't get a lot
it
of
wasn't
foot
in the main hall.
traffic. Yeah, we didn't get a ton of foot traffic where people just like walk by and they're like, "Oh, what's this?" So that made it a little bit harder too, right? And we didn't get a chance to put it in the computer because they ran out of space for events. But next year, easy to do that as one of the initial things that we can put out.
Yep.
And then last is, what are your thoughts on the Silver Age update? I don't think really not disappointed on anything. I'd love to see Wakanda Hulkbuster gone completely. I'm a little surprised with Pete's build. The dumpster fire got moved to restricted. But, happy the Eagles got a little nut tap.
Yep.
Pete's build. Yeah, you got some good shots there, huh?
I did.
Man,
I did take that personal, just like Brian did. I do love me some dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's like my spiritual terrain piece. So,
any other? I know we kind of already talked about the Silver Age update, but do you guys have any other thoughts on it?
No, I think that it's going to be good seeing Kong in the format again without allowing the ability to put Animal Man on him. With everything else that we have that can, even though it's kind of iffy because there are some one shots that just make him, because he has mystical keyword. So there is that. And luckily, the few of the one shots that become problematic, like, nothing like a Kong with images of icons. So luckily that's on the restricted as well as Crimson Ban. So
some of the other
see how it plays out.
Some of the other things though that were what made it easier to deal with Kong are like banned or restricted also though, like the barrel or the trick arrows. So that is another thing that I am a little worried about is, 200 or 300 point Kong, where a lot of his answers aren't available.
Well, I mean, there's still a few little things there. That's something that I think is going to be worth looking at during Rock Cup. I think that we're going to be seeing some Potato Kong teams. So,
Pete, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I love the update, and I'm anxious to see what happens at the Rock Cup. So, I think you'll get some answers pretty quick. People have to figure out how to deal with Kong. So, yeah, he's going to be there. I mean, he'll be there in a pretty, I don't want to say huge percentage, but I mean, he's going to see representation at multiple point lines.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 3v3 is modern, so never mind. I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple teams just Kongs, but never mind. Then we have Charles Constant. After back-to-back weekends of ClixMania events, how are you degenerates feeling? I'm exhausted. It was so nice to just lay down and go to bed every day this week. It's been great.
Yeah, so Charles, after the back-to-back weekends of ClixMania, tired, had a great time, an absolute blast, but really, really tired. But overall grateful, just grateful for the time with a hobby I love and with a ton of friends and, time with the family around the CCO. So overall, very grateful for it all.
and I just had to ClixMania, so my weeks weren't as long as yours.
There's some brutal traveling though, right? I'm sure you're still pretty drained.
Yeah. I'm still trying to recover. That 5-hour layover really kicked my ass.
Is the crew done giving their thoughts on a specific figure? If not, what innocent rare figure will WizKids ban in retaliation? Hope it's not Nort. Free Predegaton. I mean, I know we're not going to stop being vocal about it. I think there's other issues also besides just him. But, they've said that he's going to stay, and they had another chance to get rid of him. So I don't know how much else there is to say about it. Do you guys want to add on to that?
Yeah, we're not done talking about him. He's trash.
I think his biggest problem is coming in for free off the sideline and just not having. If you want to put a main force, he's a pain in the butt. but I think people are good enough, and what the stuff that's hitting meta play anyway just eats them up on the main force anyway. No, we're not going to stop talking about them. We're also going to talk about things that we also perceive other as problems. I'm still trying to figure out why Perdegaton was the worst thing in Modern and just caught the ban. But
He was a
whatever.
decoy.
Yeah, free
They
degs.
had D4 and they rolled it.
No, like this whole event was, about, fun and in showing how a few changes to certain formats can lead to more fun, more pieces playable, and that's really what we want to get across. So if there's a piece that prevents having fun, if there's a bunch of stuff that's really oppressive, you can count on us to talk about it. Then we have JM DeJulio. Sir Maps-a-Lot had only 2 maps on his build sheets. The only 2 maps any self-loving player needs in their collection. He had a combined 640 squares between both maps, with only 4 of those squares being printed, elevated, or blocking terrain. That's 99.38% of his maps being the way the good Lord intended. Now, we love and cherish Monster Island and forgive her for her greatest flaw, the elevated lighthouse, so those 4 squares can be forgiven. Congratulations to Sir Maps Peterson for his incredible performance and his loyalty to the good maps. My only question is, you trying to start a bromance or something? You can't go out there with only those 2 maps, a team full of the best pulse waivers ever, make top cut, and then expect me to not take this as some kind of hidden love letter directed at me. How do you want to respond to that one, Pete?
JM, you caught the vibe I was sending. It's not hidden anymore. It's out there in the open. So, however you want to see this proceed, I respect you and I respect your decisions. But yeah, so playing those 2 maps was kind of a little bit of a joke, a little bit of shot at Redmond that I purposely only had those 2 maps on my builds. But they did play into some strategy too of how the team functioned. So it just a lot easier to just hit things when you just don't have to worry about anything.
How the team functioned.
So yeah, it functioned fine.
Get out.
It was also too just because I was really worried about Tri-Sentinel. Honestly, at 15 points, he just does a lot of things. So
Sailor's
take away his
Dream
ability
is
to break blocking.
so much better.
I should have had Sailor's Dream on my build. I think I loaned it to somebody though. I seriously think I didn't have it. I think that was the problem. So I think I took it off my build that morning. So, but yeah, to answer the question directly, the hidden love letter's out in the open now.
If there was a third shitty map you could add, Pete, which one would it be?
A third shitty map or a third map?
No, a third shitty map, just like the first 2 shitty maps that are on that list.
Yeah, Sailor's Dream.
No.
If Sailor's Dream no, Sailor's Dream plays well with my team. It protects Hinari quite a bit.
And it's actually
honestly.
a good map. So you didn't add any good maps to your build. So what other shitty map would you have added?
I don't. Miles, who is he talking to? Doesn't he know what my title is?
Yeah, he doesn't get it.
Grief.
Oh
man, it would have been the basketball court.
Yeah, okay, I figured. All right, moving on to Konstantin K. Savitsky. I was organizing my cliques in my basement while listening to your pod over the weekend. We get mice sometimes, and I start hearing this faint squeaking. So I'm like, what the fuck? And start trying to find whatever animal is in my basement. And then Ryan says, I'm going to kill that bird. From now on, can Pete say bird every time that bird makes a squeaking noise? Thanks. I haven't heard the bird. Is it still around?
I'm not there.
Oh, okay.
I'm not at the house with the bird.
That's right. Okay. So the bird's...
I found your map from Rock 2018, Pete, your third map. It's going to be called Strange Day at the Park.
Oh, yep.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
Oh, my other buddy liked to play that one. I hated that one also.
Yeah. Yep, that's your third map. Okay, so it's that or Settle It on the Canvas Battle Royal, because aren't the Battle Royal maps legal, too?
Not all of them. Not all of them, but...
Yeah. That's a good one, too. Flashpoint Flood also would get some looks. Because there's not much on that one either.
I hate
There's a
you.
little bit of blocking. No, you need Strange Day at the park because it's only hindering and watering clear terrain.
That's 3. That's too
I'm gonna
many
add
different
this.
types of terrain.
This will be added to the list of good maps. I'll run it by JM. It'll be fine.
Number 2, do you think some people didn't go because Beetlejuice was banned in the modern?
Oh, hold on. We're not answering Constantine's question?
What did he say?
Next time the bird is there, I'll do my best, Constantine, to say bird every time it squeaks because I got blamed viciously for it being my chair, and I could not figure out how my chair was making a noise it never made.
For weeks.
All right, I'll make sure to be there next episode so I can have Pete just keep saying bird, bird, bird.
Bird. Bird.
So now people that haven't listened to this part yet and they listen to that are going to wonder what's wrong with Pete that just keeps saying bird.
It's gonna be,
Yeah,
that makes it better.
Yeah, people wonder what's wrong with me all the time, so it's part of my charm.
Number 2, do you think some people didn't go because Beetlejuice was banned in the modern? I think the only person that didn't come because of that was Nick Ballou. But that's just because free actions are just way too complicated for him. So he has a really hard time with anything over 1 free action, I would say, per turn. It starts to get super complex for him. So he needs to just
he doesn't
stick
understand
to
that
stuff.
different elevations mean that you're not adjacent. He doesn't understand adjacency.
Right.
No, I think the real biggest thing for why we didn't get more players is honestly because of how because it's literally the next week after CCO, and expecting people to pay for both Adepticon and CCO is a lot. And so we did get a few players that went to both, but when it's 1 week apart and you have people traveling from cross country, it makes it hard to do both events.
And don't forget too, like we did not have any official marketing saying that this was going on from many other places, and we only had 2 months from when we announced we were doing it to the actual event. So making plans for that was not easy either. So I'm still very happy with the numbers and the people that came and showed up to play, with how little planning time we got to actually do it from start to finish.
I know a few people that had some FOMO going on. So,
and then his third,
yeah, I don't. I would think it would not be somebody didn't come because Beetlejuice was banned. If that's a thing, okay. I think more likely it was everything else that you guys mentioned: the 2-month build up, the advertisement only really coming, very sparingly, and just the fact that it was stacked on top of another huge event. But totally worth it.
So yeah, we're hoping to do it again next year, and we'll be able to plan it out much more early so that we can get it out there and people can expect to go. So, which I guess we should say that if it does happen at Adepticon next year, they made their dates. It's I think Wednesday, April 7th to Sunday, April 11th, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so as long as everything is a go, that's our plan for next year. Then number 3, will Loki Supreme be more of a problem in Silver or Modern? Oh, that's easy. It's definitely Silver. You have so many more creative builds that are there, and of course they utilize special powers to exist, and then there's another 100 points of pieces to take away powers from. So I can't see how it would be Modern. Do you guys have a counter on that?
Yeah, but even in Modern, the moment that you see that he's not seeing play, the same thing as Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice saw more play as a sideline until rotation, where they realized that he was just like that good with Animal Man. I think it's going to be where you're going to get that lull of no Source Supreme, and then you're going to go and just say, all right, we're going to use special powers. And then that's when you're going to play just Loki teams. You need to always make sure that you need to have it's one of those figures that you have to have an answer for. Even if he's not in the field of the tournament you're going to, you don't know that. And I think that's honestly what makes him such a problematic figure, is that it dumps you at force construction that you have to build around it. So I'd like to just see a few fixes.
Yeah, that's like going to an event not having a plan for Rogue. Terrible planning.
Yeah.
Pete, what do you think? Silver
I think
or Modern?
it's probably I think I think Silver. It's going to be a bigger problem. because of what you talked about, but I think it's I mean, it's not going to man, how do I want to frame this? Because I just said I think Silver's going to be the bigger problem. He's going to be a huge problem in Modern too, because it's a more limited format than Silver. He has more answers in Silver than he does in Modern. And he's
we have Ghost Rider coming out off under the restricted.
Oh, does that counter him?
Yes, it does.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's why I'm telling you, Ghost Rider's always going to see huge play anyway, so he's going to be the first piece that's going to get the tap ban twice.
I mean, well, his existence might be a reason to not play Loki then, or at least play him with the plan to self-damage him.
That's why I think that Modern is honestly where it's going to be more problematic, because you're going to do that trick just for it not to matter. Sure, you don't get team abilities, but Ghost Rider does counter Loki.
So I guess that's quite a question then, because the potential of it being a problem is greater in Silver. I guess the existence of Ghost Rider is kind of like the counter of you have to expect or know what to do if you go up against a Loki. Well, a Loki has to expect or know what to do if they go up against the Ghost Rider, and that alone might be a reason why you don't play Loki then, But I guess in Modern you don't have that same option, and so it could be more of a problem in Modern, but only because of what
there is no answer.
Yes, of where your team kind of settles after he goes off.
It's the self-triggering part that it becomes the issue.
It's more likely characters will play him. Yeah, and it's more likely characters will play him in Modern, but the potential of him being a problem in Silver is greater. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then we have McConnell Lamar. Hey, gents, thank you for taking the initiative to run this event. Thanks, McConnell. What were some of your favorite moments from the event? Well, I personally had a blast streaming, and then just seeing everyone come out and play at the event was really special. Watching everyone enjoy themselves in the duos event that we've been working on for so long, that was definitely a high point. I even enjoyed streaming with Bookwood, so got to spend a whole day with Bookwood in front of the world on YouTube.
All right, so what would you say was better, streaming with Bookwood as commentary partner or having Kenny as a commentary partner in the finals of the duos?
Having Kenny as a...
Yeah, he did commentary in the finals with you.
Oh, yeah, on the first day.
Yeah, sounds like Bookwood because you forgot about that. So
yeah, it was so memorable. He didn't know what you were talking about.
That was like for a match, and then he got up and didn't stick around.
Well, that was the finals, so yeah.
Yes.
It was nice to see the mortal frenemies of Bookwood, or also known as Peter Marshfield, according to
we're still waiting on it. It could be Bookfield, it could be Marshwood. It's still debated.
Yeah, it was good to see the mortal frenemies on stream together. That was cool. Miles, did you answer?
No, so what I'm going to say is obviously it was winning the duos with Pete, and I want to apologize for playing too fast and loose. I didn't realize, I mean, it didn't matter anyway. I didn't realize that we were actually winning as bad as we were. I thought we were down till last action. I mean, realistically. So, I don't play as often as I would like. And so from now on, I'll try to make sure to be more diligent, but when I know that time's coming by, I'm trying to play as fast as I can.
Maybe take a breath or not roll attacks while they're still sidestepping.
I heard, okay, that's it, your go. When they said that before I rolled.
I know they went back and forth a little bit on if they're going to sidestep or not, and then you were on attack 3 by the time they decided to or not.
Well, I heard your go, so. I'm like, all right, I gotta finish this. I hear your go. I'm there. It's all gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes.
I don't know if like the top 2 ClixMoments period have actually happened within the last 12 months. That was winning Clix Camp with you and Ollie, and then winning the duos with Pete. I will always say this is that I will always prefer and defer to share a win with someone that than just winning by yourself. And I know this sounds weird to say it, but winning a team sealed event or winning a duos event is more memorable and better for me than even winning worlds. Like, I realize that you're able to design a figure, but I like to be able to share my win. I've just never been one of those people that it feels selfish to have people celebrate my win when it could be so much better celebrating with your friends.
I like that. Pete, what do you got for that one?
I'll do a quick thing from days. Obviously, showing up, people dressing up for the first day of ClixMania at Adepticon in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with Kenny and Matt, and then Miles and I, and obviously being able to finally win a tournament with Miles in the duos format, which was a format that originated with our play group, and to be able to celebrate that was awesome. The second day, being able to personally finally make cut after like 2 years felt pretty good. So that was a very cool moment. The third day, modern, man, competitively brutal. I did not do myself any favors, but being able to hang out with Miles and the Eagles, and we had a fun night here, and we had a fun night out in Kenosha, and we paid for it a little bit on Sunday. And then Sunday, just wrapping it up. I think Silver Pulp. I enjoy Silver Pulp. I think it's needs to just have some tweaks done to it. I think it's really honestly a great little format. I think that would be my feedback for my favorite moments, and just kind of overall, just the camaraderie of everybody there. I mean, what a fun event, start to finish.
Oh yeah, they were long days, but they were fun.
Yeah.
What has you excited for the next phase of HeroClix with Venom on the horizon? Probably looking forward to the silver events at H4H in a couple months. Miles?
The potential for consistent quarterly watch lists and actual getting figures bans or erratas. Venom especially has some interactions that I don't think the playtest team thought of, or potentially tinfoil hat moment wanted to hide because they thought it'd be funny to bring into the game, when in fact it's even more broken than stuff we have currently in Modern. So yeah, obviously there's Pork Rind I plan on playing too, but I'm very excited for potentially of a consistent quarterly watch list.
I'd love that.
I'm excited and invigorated by the silver announcement today, and going to see what comes out at the Rock Cup in HeroClix for Huntington's. That's one of my favorite events of the year. I have yet to make it to it in person, and I've got to get that done, but I really enjoyed the community coming together to support a great cause. And so I look forward to that. And we're the charity auction is one of my favorite things. Hopefully the app works.
They're supposed to be doing something besides Oglet this year, which we have not heard on what that is yet, though. Did we get?
He did post a video. I didn't have a chance to watch it, so maybe he answered that question on there.
Oh, recently?
I think WizKids posted a video of Scott Porter, or was it just an image?
Of Scott? No, it's a video. Yeah, I don't know if he talked about what platform they're doing the auction on, though. McConnell's last question is: did we get your thoughts on watch list results yet, and what are they? And did we even get into watch list results? I don't think we did.
I don't think so. I didn't realize there was actually a watch list.
Well, might as well not have been.
Yeah.
What were the big changes? I mean, obviously the no change the juice. That was a huge miss. Definitely disappointed with that one. We got super excited that building was going to be fun again, and then the rug got pulled right from under us.
Yep.
Lots of negativity in here. They're watching.
I will say though, winning with Perdegaton makes me happy that because I planned on giving him a Viking funeral and recording it, and having been able to win the duos makes it even more bittersweet. I do have a pond in my backyard, so once the rain stops in a few days, I plan on recording a true Viking funeral for Bredegaton.
I look forward to this content.
And then the Ares bomb we were kind of mixed on. I think it is a fine change. I think that when it worked with Giant Reach, with Colossals, or any other way you can give it, absolutely horrible interaction. Super, super terrible. And then also just potentially, giving 3, 4, 5 pieces 5 to 6 damage with your blaze rolls just because they're hot. Just absolutely horrendous piece. So the fact that he got Narada, sure, now he can end somewhere else and damage people if he has hypersonic, or the piece that's using it has hypersonic. It gets around stop clicks, mystics, all that, whatever. But the max that you're dealing in most scenarios now is 3. And, you can spread out a little bit better now. So the changes was what it is, and I think I'm way happier about it. It's not going to be the issue it was before, and I feel like people will...
No, I'm still sad that he's the best sideline god by far.
Oh, he is, for sure.
Off. It's so sad.
Miles, what is your take on it, though? Ares.
No, that's I think that it's... Yeah, I mean, the ceiling isn't as high, but I think at the same time it is almost like a mini buff, especially with die replacement. So you have to be really careful on your placement. And people have gotten, I don't really want to say the word lazy, but with their placement because of just, where the game is currently. And a good old die replacement Ares bomb will just completely destroy someone. So it's still ripe for abuse. It's not quite as bad, but maybe it's fine. But it still sucks. It's just a free sideline element that can just do stuff like that. So
yeah, the big thing is the Giant Reach thing, though, and not being able to do 6 damage to pieces just because you're adjacent.
They could just work. They could just work that in the comp to where it didn't work with it. I mean,
could have just ruled it initially that Ares was looking for actual adjacent pieces, but whatever.
But Quake.
Me, but actually.
Yeah, big guy.
Pete, where is your stance on Ares post errata?
I honestly think it's a buff.
Well, you also don't know how to play the game.
Well,
hey, you don't talk to the duo's champion like that. He knows how to play the game. He won.
All right, why do you think it's a buff?
Mister? Because exactly what you described, with the ability to finish other places hypersonic, get around things like stop clicks and mystics and that. I don't think it's worse. I just think it's a buff. It changes it fundamentally. So Ares at least was dependent on somebody's dice to be hot for it really to be truly devastating. And the problem was it was always truly devastating when somebody did it to you and not the other way around, right?
Always.
So yeah, so that's the thing with that. I've also seen Ares bombs when I do them roll 1s and 2s the whole time. So great, you did an Ares bomb, you didn't really do anything, cool. But now with this is you're really able to almost guarantee more damage in a lot of cases, because what are the pieces that are getting played right now because of everything else that's in modern? Hypersonic.
So when you hypersonic blades, where do you prefer to finish?
Wow, that's a loaded question. Wherever I can.
Preferably in the dark so no one's watching.
Oh, okay. I just
wherever I can.
The opposing team, but whatever. Wherever there's the most people on the opposing team.
Oh, that's where you're going. My bad.
No.
Okay. My bad. Sorry. Yeah, I thought. Yeah. We just went to the adult content. Thanks.
No, I was just curious on where would you like to finish if you have hypersonic blades, you have some extra speed. Where would you finish?
Mm-hmm. On as many people on the opposing team as possible.
Yeah, okay.
Preferably that they have an expendable goon.
It's getting late. We've had such long weeks and we're back in the sweatshop. Here we go.
Were there any other things? I mean, I feel like there might have been one or two things that also just didn't matter. What didn't get changed? There's something else that didn't get changed. I don't want to look it up.
They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything with juice.
Destroy armor.
Oh yeah, that was another thing. Which honestly, I know I don't hate it as much as other people do, and there are a ton of stuff that take it away or eliminate. There's so many things that interact with people being equipped now. I don't think it's that big of an issue.
No, the entire issue is the fact that they're making, like, my personal bias for it is the fact that why does that have a qualifying keyword in my Goblin Glider or the Goblin Glider doesn't.
Yeah.
Or the glider. That's my big gripe.
Here's
and that's where it becomes
my
problematic. The free element.
Here's my whole take from the watch list. Watch us just make a list and not do much. That's my whole take from
it. Was that it then? There's like 4 or 5, right? That was it. I just know that it was pretty sad. There's 4, yeah.
Nope.
So yeah. But it is what it is.
Yep, all we can hope
all we can hope for is that we get more more regularly. Then we have Steve LeBouffure. Just want to shout out to Degeneration ClixX and setting up the best event I have been to yet. I have only been playing for a couple of years and only been to a couple of big events, and by far this was the best I have been to. I'm not the best ClixX player out there. I don't go to win, which may not be the best mindset. I go because the community is awesome. I have met some of the nicest and welcoming people ever playing HeroClix. I have made friends in HeroClix that I think I'll be fortunate enough to call them friends for the rest of my life. Thanks so much for all your hard work organizing this event. I'm excited for more to come. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, Steve was our fellowship winner for the weekend also. There was a couple people that I definitely could have considered. I witnessed a lot of fun games, like Miles said too. Logan Shore's very fun person to have there playing.
Those were my 2 picks, and like Logan was having fun like the whole time too.
Mm-hmm.
But man, Steven is just so infectious.
Yeah,
that was another thing during the duos that was just so fun. When because we played against him and Matt, and Matt is a very super serious, like heavy meta player.
Yeah,
and like and Steven is not.
And Thomas is there too, though.
Talk about the Eagles play. Yeah, you talk about the Eagles play styles don't mesh well. Their philosophy of the game does not mesh well, and it was just so amazing. He's just infectious, and if you do not enjoy the game, just play a game against Steve, and that's it. Like you'll love the game for life. He is a great ambassador for the game. The exact player that you're talking about, like he says that he doesn't go there to win. But in all honesty, he did win. Like he was, I don't know, there was some players for consideration, but I don't think it was ever close for fellowship. When you actually look down the list of who would have been eligible, no one really means more to fellowship than Steven himself. Like he's just there to have a good time. He does not care. Yeah, and I'm sure I saw it on stream. His game with Ollie, that game looked like a blast.
Yeah, that was a perfect example right there. Like I was saying, Thomas was on my list too. I saw so many things go wrong for him, but he still laughed about it. And he always a super fun opponent to go up against, no matter how good or bad he's doing. It's always just he's got a great demeanor and a great opponent to play against. But the amount of people that said over the weekend how fun and enjoyable that Steve was to play against is really what put him in the forefront. And I got to watch that game when he played Ali, and I've never seen somebody get bladed for 5 or 6 damage that many times and just laugh about it.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, he's just there to have a good time. He's not, like you said, he's not there to win. He just wants to have fun.
Exactly.
And fun he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would 100% agree with all those names. I'm really glad Steve won. But I would also offer Kid Chaos himself. If you get to play a game of HeroClix against Ali, he is unshakable. He is just there to play. and he has so much fun doing it. And as soon as the game's over, he's sitting there and he's talking about his next idea, or he's talking about the game or these plays or the things that he did, or he's running down the thing to tell his dad something that he did. And it's just awesome to watch. But Steven, very deserving. I agree totally. Thomas and Logan too.
We had a lot of, and it's hard to like just sit here and name names because we had so many great players there. But yeah.
No, I will name just those. I will just name those 3 names.
All right,
so people
that's
can see how to act during an event.
That's fair, actually.
For trying to get fellowship. I have no problem with that. I think that the way that their personality is, the way that they conduct themselves during games, is exactly what you're looking for, and it should be applauded and definitely have their names called out. And if we didn't say your name, it's not saying that you weren't, a great, player or anything, but you weren't at the level of them to where the enjoyment and why HeroClix is what it is for me. It's those 3, Thomas, Logan, and Steve, completely exemplify why cliX is the greatest game.
Yeah. But I will say that, overall, the sportsmanship at the event was top notch from everyone that I saw for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to Michael Donicht. Wait. Nope. Here.
Tyler Shaw.
Yes, we have Tyler Shaw, longtime listener, first-time caller. I'm planning on attending my first competitive event next month. I just wondered if you had any advice for someone just getting into competitive events. Lantern Legacy and Speed Force Iconics is all I really have that's modern right now. Do you believe I can show up with an Arkillo team and be somewhat competitive? I have no delusion of showing up and winning the whole thing, just want to play and experience it. So Tyler, I will give you this advice. Look at the most recent events. Did you say it was modern? Yeah. Look at the most recent events on HC units. Let's look at the stuff that is getting played, and you need to have answers for them. It's not always, you're going with an Arkillo team. It's what do you do when you go up against Rogue? What do you do when you go up against a Hydra? What do you do if you go up against what else? Those are the big things.
Juice.
Yeah, like what do you do if you can't take your free attack, And that's like a thing. Yeah, thanks for setting me up on that, Miles. That's another reason why, that
welcome.
piece is just absolutely terrible. Free make an attack is what makes Arkillo even kind of playable at full points. But, if somebody sees you have Arkillo and they either call out juice or it's a main force juice, you're losing half your attacks. So I think if you build well, you can, probably take a couple wins depending on what you go up against and what the rest of your build is. I don't know if you can land an Ace Legacy card, but not being able to outwit Arkillo is big. If you go with at least another Sinestro Core recruit, put the ring on the Sinestro Core recruit, get the longsword on Arkillo. I've had a ton of fun with Arkillo and playing him. So, if you have a little bit of dice luck, I do think you can have a decent day, at least go 2 and 3. Again, that depends on how big the event is and what you go up against. But I think that that's a fine place to learn. And I will tell you what I tell a lot of other people that just start learning and playing in events. You kind of have to pay your dues in the beginning and get beat down. But, just know that if you understand why you lost, you can easily learn more from every loss than a win.
Yep. And I'm not going to go with like how to make your team better at all. I think that when we were talking about Steve, I think it perfectly exemplifies. I'm not sure if you watched any of our live streams from Adepticon, but I'm gonna go ahead and plug our YouTube page as we should always. I think watching the way that Steve plays, especially like in Pulp, the Silver Pulp, I think that's exactly the mentality that you want to go into, especially being your first event. Don't drop, don't concede when you're first starting.
That's a great advice.
I concede, but it's because I know where the game's going, so it's but when you're first learning, you don't want to concede, even if you're gonna beat down. Just let it happen. Essentially, you don't want to drop because you want to be able to play against different people, and whether they're going to beat you or not, that doesn't matter. It's getting the experience of playing against those different players. That's most important is going to help you grow as a player is to see how other people play different pieces. So, yeah, just go there. Just, like you said, you're going there. You're not expecting to win it. Somewhat competitive is tough just because of figures like Rogue can just completely eat or kill alive. And that's going to happen. But yeah, you might be able to get a sneak a win with those dice. But yeah, I would just go in there with just wanting to soak up as much energy as you want, and soak up as much information as you can, and then just go there to enjoy the game and try to have fun, even if you can't have fun with your figures.
And after your first competitive event, if you want to shoot Pete some advice and let him know anything you learned, he'd be very appreciative of that. But do you have any advice
100%.
for Tyler, Pete?
We're going with that for the current reigning 2026 Adepticon Duos champion.
Yep.
The Braun Strowman to my Nicholas.
I think you got that backwards, boss.
Oh,
but yeah,
no.
Yes, absolutely.
I think play what you want, man. Just go in there and understand this is a tough game. I'm basically at best a 50-50 player. I think my total record for the weekend was 10-10. And so when you go into competitive events and bigger events, there's people that play this game at a very high level that I don't see. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't participate in it and have a good time. Just take it for what it is. It's a fun day of talking to people about comic books and other things you'll find in common with them in the game, and enjoy yourself and take it as a learning experience. And don't feel bad about your record. If that's what you're focusing on, it's going to be a little rough for you for a while. But I believe that you can be automatically better than me on any competitive scene just by showing up. So.
Well, yeah, and if you play Modern, you will have a higher ranking of ELO than me in Modern currently for this year. So.
Great. We have Michael Donick next. Thank you guys for hosting such a fun event. After the data of the weekend, are there any tweaks to formats that you would want to implement? I don't think we talked about it, but the duos event, there's a couple little things. I think finding a way to eliminate the ability to play a piece like Prime Rogue, maybe lowering the max point value that you can play on a 200 point side of the team would be big. And then the other thing is trialing out what we're kind of calling it as a last stand mode, where if your teammate's eliminated, then you kind of act in between each opponent's turn. You would still take action tokens like normal, so you still get tokened up faster, but it'll give you a little bit more of a chance and hopefully eliminate the strategy the opponent might use where they want to eliminate one opponent fully. So that's really the only changes that I think that I would want to try for the duos thing. Otherwise, Silver Pulp, I think we showed how much better it is with a ton of changes. Silver, I have minimal things I would do for that right now, and I think we're pretty vocal about Modern. Miles, what about you?
Yep. No, yeah. Yeah, I think the point cost is something that really needs to be looked at because just like we thought, where it's you just get that 110 pull and then just go at it because especially when you have two effective attackers like Swamp Thing and Rogue, and then the other team, Ricky and Logan, had Hadar Yao and Rogue. And so it was very, very easy to see that to rise to the top, you need that almost 100-point attacker, that over-efficient attacker. And I think if we lower the points to 75 around there, I think that we could see a little bit difference, potentially.
I think tweaking duos is always interesting, and we obviously will try that stuff locally. Before it rolls out to anything else. I think it's a format too that somebody touched on earlier. It's not just a modern format. You literally could play duos in Silver and Pulp and any other number of things. So I think that would be one thing that we could try tweaking and see what happened. I preferred our version of Silver Pulp way more than the current version. It's not even close. And I don't even mind the mainstream standard current version, but I think it's just a very limited format because of what gets played. Whereas ours there are more pieces that are not allowed, but it makes for more creative builds.
Yeah, and that's, if you look at the overall attitude of people playing in Silver Pulp over on Sunday versus the general demeanor of any of the Silver Pulp events that I've been to, I think that it was much, much higher. All right, let's go to Kenny Minks. In competitive events, what standards or expectations should judges be held to in making rulings, particularly in terms of clearly communicating the reasoning behind their decisions? So, a lot of times, if you don't agree with a ruling, like if you feel like that ruling is wrong, then you absolutely have the right to call the other judge. Unfortunately, if both judges rule something the same way, they usually will not sit there and hold up the match and explain everything to you. But absolutely, after that match happens, take the time to talk to one of the judges and iron out what's going on with that ruling, or anything, so you understand why it's being ruled that way and everyone's on the same page. I think that's the best advice I can give for that one. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
No, that's that's the only thing you can have, because we've seen events where it's been ruled wrong. I mean, we had at Worlds, how many rounds was it when they were ruling that you could mastermind mind control?
That was just the first round, and then they flip-flopped on it round 2.
Yeah, but I mean, how many games could that could have changed the outcome too?
Oh, people's, yeah, sure, yeah. But there's
so I mean, it's nothing new. We've dealt with it before. It's just try and get it clarified. Make sure that if you have to say, well, the card says this. Where can you explain to me why? Because that's, we do have character cards, and so
and I'll do that all the time. I'll get a judge, and if I feel like that ruling is not right, I'll ask a second judge, and then after the round is over, I'll talk to one of them and see where where it, what that means exactly. Like, why is that the ruling?
Yep.
Pete, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you guys said it all.
All right. Austin Plomadon, the Lost Dinosaur. It was awesome, and all of my guys from Michigan that I brought had nothing but positive things to say about everyone. It was great to meet King Brian Dormeyer and Corey Franklin. They're good people, and it was awesome to have people learn that I am indeed the dinosaur mentioned so many times. It's long neck time.
That's right. Embrace it.
Yeah, Austin was able to come all 4 days, so that was awesome that we had him and his Michigan crew out there, a bunch of them, and he was able to plays pretty well and make some cool teams.
Awesome guys, awesome play group.
Miguel Gonzalez says I should have went. I thought Miguel was going to come, so I agree, Miguel. You should have gone.
Yeah, but you know what? It's probably he probably got that, I don't want to go because I've been practicing juice for so long.
Oh, that's true. So maybe that scared him away too. Free actions can be scary.
They can.
There's only 2 people I know that hate the word free, and it's Nick Ballou and Miguel.
Yeah. Giant Gonzalez and Blue the Bear.
Then we have Matt Prignano. Should there be a 300 modern title, which Prignano versus Prignano, streamed by D-Generation ClixMania?
So I'm going to read my answer if that's okay.
Go for it.
Yes, 100%. Listen up, because this isn't just a match. This is blood, legacy, and unfinished business. For a year, Matthew Prignano sat on the top of the mountain, the standard bearer, the workhorse, the man who carried the gold and defended what it meant to be a champion. Every challenger stepped up, and every challenger fell. Matthew didn't just win, he endured, he outlasted, he proved night after night that this business ran through him. But while Matthew was building a legacy, there was always a shadow. That shadow had a name. It was his brother, Ricky Prignano. The brother, the hungry one, the one who watched, learned, and waited for years. Ricky stood just a step behind, close enough to taste it, but never close enough to take it. People whispered, can he ever surpass Matthew? And then it happened. Ricky didn't just win the title, he ripped it out of the family hierarchy. He shocked the world. Now he stands as a champion, not in his brother's shadow, but casting one of his own. But here's the thing about kings who fall. They don't stay down. Matthew Pragnano isn't just coming back for a handshake. He's not coming back to congratulate his brother. He's coming back with something far more dangerous, purpose. Because in his mind, that title was never Ricky's destiny. It was stolen from his. Now that stage is set. Brother versus brother. Champion versus former champion. Legacy versus uprising. One man fights to prove he's still the standard. The other one fights to prove he's finally surpassed it. When the bell dice drops, there are no alliances, no family dinners, no second chances. Just one last question. Who's left standing? Who is the dominant Pragnano?
Well, that was great.
I think we do.
I mean, that's
and then
up to
eventually
them.
we can build up to. Yeah, then we can eventually build up to the three-way dance between the flying Pragnanos. Like when the Shield broke up. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's up to them. If they want to do a title match, then we would happily stream that title match.
Oh, yeah. On pay-per-view.
Then we have Mark Baird. Hats off to the team for the success of the inaugural ClixMania at Adepticon. Thanks, Mark. Will ClixMania be an ongoing event at Adepticon for the community to look forward to? That's our goal. That's what we hope to do. We have not had any future talks yet, but I think overall it was a huge success, and with a little bit more time, it just has the potential to be bigger and better. Were the title belts from ClixMania permanent trophies to winners, or are these going to instead be engraved and held by champions but change hands at future events? Pete, do you want to talk about that?
Nope, they are permanent trophies to the winners. If you came and gave your time and money and played in the events, you had a chance at immortality. They're marked by year, so it didn't make any sense to kind of keep them and have other years. Like we really wanted this to be something that people talked about. And the pricing was great, the event was great, the streaming was great, the community was great. So giving away some title belts to motivate people to come out to ClixMania at Adepticon in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, totally worth it. And I hope everybody that was lucky enough to win one enjoys it and cherishes it.
Let's be honest, that is the best prize in HeroClix this year.
I mean, I'm biased. I think so too.
I don't think it'll ever be topped. I don't care. And even I'm not even just say just HeroClix. I think at Adepticon, because Adepticon gave everyone which I didn't even realize was a medal.
Yeah.
But other ones just had like weird shaped trophies. I want that wrestling belt. You can't, you walk around with a trophy that you won for like Armada. It's kind of weird. When you walk around with a championship belt, people know that you're someone.
And so how cool was that though? Come Thursday morning when we get there, all the people are there. You see all of the belts there, and every day, if you didn't win one, the clock is kind of ticking down that, you lost a shot at winning that belt, but everybody wanted that belt in any event.
I have a couple thoughts. There were some really questionable trophies at Adepticon. I'm just going to leave that at that.
We have
You're
seen
in the room
some
with us,
questionable ones.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
And I will tell you a little story. So Miles and I, we were fortunate enough to win, and we drove back to Kenosha and we raided my wife's pool league. So this is where she's playing billiards with like her team. And so we go busting in with our championship belts on, and dude, people were cheering and clapping. And they're like, the champs are here.
We were in costume
The champs
as well,
are
by the
here.
way.
Yeah, yes. Needless to say, my wife thinks I'm an idiot too. So, but it's totally worth it.
Well, and then your buddy at that minute market held both belts and felt like he was the champion.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We stopped at my local gas station where I basically stop every day or every other day. And so the guy behind the counter, his name is Ali. They're a super nice family, and he wanted to hold both belts, so we let him. It was great. It's a fun day.
Third question.
I also wore him to the office on Monday.
Oh, that was great. That picture in the morning. That was Monday morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Had to let everybody know the champ was there.
Third question, D&D set on its way. Any particular hopes, predictions, or speculation? Personally, would love to see Strahd, a vampire, and some armor equipment like +1 chainmail, 20 to 30 points. That would bonuses to defensive abilities. If can use toughness and Vol and invincible, they can reduce damage by +1. If super senses, shape change, increase d6 rolls by +1. So I will admit I don't know that much about D&D. I think that monsters are super cool though, so I will be buying a ton of this set. Dragons, monsters, I love equipment, so I'm super excited about this set, and I know nothing about D&D.
So there's a few things that I loved because I used to play D&D when the 3rd edition came out.
Nerd.
And they're different kinds of bears. Okay, we had the owl bear. I got my owl bear. I love it. I want to get a bugbear. That's what I really want. So what a bugbear is, it's just like a giant goblin and a bigger orc. I just want to play a bugbear because it's just an awesome name.
That's it. Is there a bear?
Is there what?
A bear?
Yeah, you can have a bear.
Yeah, it has the bottom of a bear and the top of a bear.
It's a bearfolk bear. So yes, there is a bear.
Pete, what do you got?
Well, after all of this great content from this last part, dude, yeah, give me all of the D&D monsters and all the equip monks.
Great to see the team make some very respectable placings at CCO. Will there be a Who's That Pokemon type of segment on future unboxings with Ollie for legacy cards, given his new track record of calling 2 Tri-Sentinel pulls, or perhaps even a D-Gen t-shirt highlighting this crazy phenomenon? I love a new format and sandbox to build in as much as the next guy, but double issue sounds like a lot of things to consider to end up with 2 mini meta 200-point teams. A bold format and great to see a focus on duos. Do any of you have any ways you would like to see the rules simplified or adjusted to help the format be more approachable and stand on its own? Well, the difference between like the duos and the double issue is really the duos is as simple as it can be, and you can make it silver, you can make it modern, you can make it pulp, like Pete was saying earlier, and double issue is kind of trying to be a separate format altogether, where it's using Silver Age-ish type stuff, but you are very more limited on your build styles. So I think they're very different in that regard. I think the only other thing that we talked about earlier also too was just kind of changing the maximum points a piece can be, and then we'll see some even more creative builds with that. Did I answer that question or no?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's I think he might have thought that the duos and the double issue were the same thing, and duos is very different from the double issue because, like you said, double issue wants to become its own thing, separate from modern and silver with its own rate, its own restricted and ban lists and everything. And whereas the duos is just whatever you want to play, you just throw it together.
Right. Pete, do you have anything to add to that?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Wrestling O'Clock. If there were WWE Iconics to be released in the future, other than a clear choice to have a full D-Gen X box set, what would you each like to see as a duo or trio box, and also as a larger box? It would be fun to see a box focused on support style characters or managers paired with equipment. Jim Cornette and Megaphone, Mr. Fuji and Kendo Stick, Paul Bearer and Urn, Paul Heyman and his mobile phone. Man.
So Jim Cornette did not have a megaphone. He had a tennis racket. You're thinking of Jimmy Hart, Mark.
Yes.
Yep.
I still think that Lesnar would have been a cool cool cliX to get.
Yeah. The trio box for me is easily the Twin Towers with which is the Boss Man and Akeem, and their manager Slick. That'd be my trios. Or like Demolition. If you want to do a larger box, I think it'd be What was that, Pete?
Not Paul Ellering and the Road Warriors?
No, it's got to be the Twin Towers. Big Boss Man and
Okay.
Akeem. They were amazing. The African Dream. One man gang, Love that. It'd be cool to see like an Attitude Era box that is going to have like the Attitude Era. So you'll have like, I realize we have most of the Attitude Era together, but we have some that are sadly missing that I would like to round out.
I would have liked to see a lot of the early 2000 tag teams, like Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys and Lita,
Chuck and Billy,
Dudley Boys, Chuck and Billy. Sure, why not? As long as we get the manager Rico. Rico was awesome.
Yes, 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 yeah.
All right, Pete, what's your answer?
I would take a ton of wrestling clicks, honestly, and I think because WWE owns most of the American wrestling product except for AEW, like the classic stuff. Like you could get WCW stuff, you could get ECW stuff. I mean, how fun would the Dudley Boys and Spike Dudley be to put on a board of clicks and hand out the?
Oh yeah, like a trade. Get the tables. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, get the tables. Tables as equipment, chairs as equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Hall's stun gun. Yeah,
that's what we need. And you know what? I got a prediction. I'm gonna. At some point in this year, when I go to another event, maybe it was only one event, I will find a way to reenact the stun gun to Beetlejuiceburg. And I know exactly how to do it.
I'm going to dress people up as that then and have you just stun people all weekend.
Yep. That'd be perfect. I don't want to give out the secret. Prime Blue Beetle's going to stun gun Beetlejuiceburg. Yeah.
His last one, I just wanted to end on a thanks to the team for the massive efforts to cover every event over the last few months. Great to hear events far and wide get noticed and also hear of the different teams being played to success. Thanks, Mark, for paying attention to what we do. Luminati.
Thanks, Mark.
Do you miss me yet? Thanks for a great event, and I'm looking forward to next year. Yeah, we get to see Lou.
I did hear that Brian missed him a lot in their game.
He did, yes. I forgot about that comment. We miss Lou right away. I think we only get to see him probably
Lou
2 or 3 times a year.
As soon as he leaves, every time. Thanks for coming, Lou.
Yeah, thank you.
You're the goods.
Then we have Brian Dormeyer.
Oh, that reminds me.
Oh, great.
As a fellow glizzy. Miles, we really screwed up this weekend because somebody here did not eat a pocket glizzy from the main.
Oh, don't
glizzy.
worry. Yeah, I'm already gonna make it better. We're gonna have the We Are Redmen are gonna be sacrificing him as a tribute.
What?
No, can't wait.
I never declined the bet. You guys just never delivered on it. So that's on you guys.
No, there was a lot going on.
There was
a lot going on.
There was.
Yeah. You know what? We'll accept that criticism.
Okay.
You also certainly didn't offer to pay your debts like a gentleman.
I was there all weekend ready. And I was absolutely...
I want my glizzy. I want my glizzy. I want my glizzy. That's what I was waiting for.
I did it all for the glizzies. The glizzies.
Brian Dormeyer, how many unique players were there? I counted 1. Kenny. Yes, Kenny was our most unique player there all weekend.
Steve.
Every day.
Steve. But Steve is a better unique player.
So 2 unique players?
Yeah.
So Kenny gets the unique ring and Steve gets the prime ring?
Yes.
Yeah.
Will Bookwood ever forgive me for calling him Peter Marshfield? Brookwood. Is that a thing or was that a typo?
No, I don't think it's a thing, but I think it's hilarious, so we're doing it now.
All right.
Brookwood.
Well, Brookwood, ever forgive me for calling him Peter Marshfield, or should I just double down and tell him I've renamed him? I do think we need to find if we're doing, what was it, Pete? Bookfield or Marshwood?
Yes.
Yeah, Bookfield or Marshwood. Maybe I'll open that poll up to the general public.
It's a good idea.
The episode drops, and we'll see. Yeah.
I think Peter needs to voice his opinion on the matter.
Well, maybe one can be one. Peter can be one, and Bookwood can be the other one.
That's it.
Use both of them because they're both honestly pretty good.
Yeah.
So I have to tell the story of how this happened now, so
Okay.
that everybody has context.
Yes.
So me and Bookwood are sitting there, and Brian comes over and it was talking to me and looks right at Bookwood, and I know he knows Bookwood's name. And he said, I just had this moment where it just left me, and I said, "Is that Peter Marshfield?" I said, "Well, I guess it is now." Then we all got to laughing. We had a good laugh about it. And then after that, if King Brian names you Peter Marshfield, you should be honored. Peter Marshfield should be honored, and you should be honored, Bookwood, if King Brian changes your name.
And then we have one of the worst people in the world, Recyclops Shroot, coming out of his stupid hole. Bizzed.
Oh, way to kill the vibe, Recyclops.
Right? I'm not sure if he's better to end with or start with and just get it over with, but I'm back.
He just puts it right in the poop fruit.
I'm back once again, Rebman. You looked good doing commentary. Finally admit you're outmatched against other players. What's your stance on stalling tactics? I don't think any of us are a fan of that, and I think that people will be getting called out on that more frequently.
You know, the only thing we hate more than stalling tactics is you, Recyclops.
That's very true.
Absolutely.
And also, I heard massive collusion happened and refusal to play a game. You heard correctly.
No, he didn't. We're not saying any information. If you want to know about it, you should have been there at Adepticon.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
You get no more information from us. Expect upcoming rules updates,
mostly
though.
because we hate you.
Yes, we do hate you.
Recyclops. Yeah. Anybody else asked, we probably would have covered it.
There has to be some form of penalty and repercussions implemented for this. It also goes against the spirit of the game. Otherwise, why even show up to play? Well, why don't you show up to play, Recyclops? How about you show your stupid face and show up to an event and play?
He's doing my favorite thing where he takes a question segment and turns it into a statement segment.
Yeah.
That is very common. All I picture when I think of this stupid name is Osimo 5000 from South Park. Just this guy in a stupid cardboard box talking like a robot. That's all I picture.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I hope whoever types these questions in is dressed like that every time. If you're not, you're doing it wrong.
That's what I picture. And then, he's just like, are the Prignanos the HeroClix power family? Sure, Recyclops.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, so we're answering that question finally?
I mean, I guess
they
this
play
one
better
is an actual question.
As singles than they do as a team, though.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, they are a thing. I mean, they all had good weekends. So, yeah. Yep, the Flying Pragnanos. But, all powerful trios eventually come to their breaking point.
They do.
That will be also carried on D-Generation ClixMania pay-per-view at some point, hopefully.
Yeah, they always have top finishes in most events. Solid players.
Well, they know how to finish.
They do. Just like if you hypersonic blades and you have Ares on your sideline, nowhere to finish.
Exactly. With the Prignanos.
Do you say, excuse me while I leave my Ares here?
Yes.
Excuse me while I whip out my Ares bomb. That's what it is.
We're losing the air. We're so close.
We are so close. Until next time, Rebman, this is Recyclops signing off and powering down. Well, it was a nice break. Hopefully we have a nice break until the next time as well. 2 more. Dylan Barrett, what did you guys think of seeing Kyle Rayner's team-up card in person? It will get worse next set with the one-shot Life Foundation, which gives your whole team support. I think it needs a ban. That amount of free attacks is insane. There should be a rule that a character can't make more than 1 free attack a turn. Yeah, that was I don't know. I know a lot of people were kind of giving Max flack about it on the stream, but I thought personally that it was a pretty insane team that was put together, but obviously it's not a team that should exist in the future going forward. So props to him for trying it out at Worlds and, you know, doing okay and then making it even better for another event and just absolutely annihilating everybody. But I don't think it's a archetype team that really should exist. Do you guys disagree?
No, they banned the wrong figure. I don't know why they banned the Blue Lantern.
Because that's the one that says you can do the free attacks.
Yeah, just ban the one that has a team up card.
But that's the one that makes everything work, right? I don't know. Either way,
Yes,
you can't
but-
do it anymore.
Yeah, sure, but
Who cares? It's
Well,
a common. No one's playing it.
that Kyle Rayner doesn't eat farts, okay? I want to play that Kyle Rayner.
They all eat different amounts of them.
Yeah.
I want to say that Max took an idea and made it work, and it's a very interesting idea. I just think that it kind of falls into one of those things that it's not competitively balanced. But I'm not going to take anything away from his day or his win or his
but it's
preparation.
the spirit of the game rulings. Like, that's what spirit of the game is supposed to be. You see it happen, or you see that team, and you're like, all right, please don't bring it. Or it's like, man, we can't have you do these 9 million attacks.
So, but here's the other side of that, right? He brought it to Worlds, and it was already a known thing, and literally nothing was done about it. So
Yeah, I know, and it's because he went 2 and 3. That's why I hate this whole entire reactive thing with WizKids and not being proactive. Some things are a problem, and it's better to be on top of it than not and have it completely just destroy an event.
So
I'm not blaming Max at all.
no, not
I mean,
at
it
all.
was
Like I
legal.
said, it was
And
legal,
you
and
don't put it on players.
he took a team that had basically broken potential and was not addressed at Worlds, and made a way better version of it. Taking that Eternity piece and making him the Gatling gun now.
I will say that Eternity is a problem in Modern too. There's a few interesting tech that needs to be looked at by the rules team because it will ruin the event.
Yeah, whenever you give all keywords to a character, potentially there's an issue there.
Yes.
I will say though, what he did not do, which would have been way worse, is give one of those characters the Bloodstone, because he had Reverse Flash on the sideline, or sorry, not Reverse Flash, the Black Flash on the sideline, and because he has all keywords, he has the Speedster keyword. So if one of the characters on his team would have had the Bloodstone, after every hit, he would have also dealt extra damage that they would have had to stick because of the Bloodstone not letting him heal back one. So that team could have been even sicker.
Yeah, that still came into play with the even without the Bloodstone, because he was making all those attacks.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Bloodstone. Luckily, the points didn't allow it, but still.
But yeah, again, I thought that it's a rough team to go up against, and I'm glad that it was addressed for future silver events.
It still needs to be looked at in Modern. I think that's a poor excuse to say why Juice Knees is needed is because of him in Spot.
Yeah,
I think that's the worst problem.
Yeah, just fix the issue, not say something else is okay. Don't say it's okay because there's something else that is out there that's also toxic.
Yep.
But no shade to Max for taking that team to win. I thought that was a well built version of it after nothing was done about it at Worlds.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Last we have Joe Ruffing. Am I a has-been or a never was? Can I ever wash away the shame of so many defeats? Will the missus ever let me back inside? Yes, by this time, Joe's phone has died because he doesn't have any outlets to charge his phone on the porch.
Oh, no, he's forever known as the Roughing. And the Roughing is when you bring out a pilot and hit someone with penetrating that deals unavoidable to characters that deal penetrating. That's called a Roughing.
He
Yo.
did have a really rough weekend though, and
He did.
he usually has one of the better showings at most of the events.
Absolutely. I'll be honest, that Sentinel Beast matchup in Modern had me worried because I'm like, how am I going to be able to get through this in an hour?
Joe, you're not a has-been, and you're not a never was. You're a comeback story in the making. I believe in you. I believe in the man with the Golden Bastion. And if you give the Golden Bastion to the missus, you're getting right back in the house.
Right.
Be great.
Stay great.
All right, let's go to any final thoughts, Miles.
Oh no, it was a great event. I look forward to in the future, and there are plans that should be getting ironed out right now with ClixCamp. Camp. Should be late July, early August is what we're looking at.
Awesome.
And I guess that Brian was talking to me about it, and I figured I'll extend it. We were wondering if you'd be able to come out to stream.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay. No, just the stream.
Oh.
That's it. That's it.
Sure.
Perfect. Okay. I'll let him know. Yep, that's all I had.
Oh, all right. That's great.
I still got jet lag.
Well, after some of the days that both you and he had, I wouldn't want to go up against me at any event either.
Yeah. Yep. All right, you armchair player.
That's what I am now.
I would have hit.
Yeah.
You have an answer for everything. I know.
That's
I know.
that's just what I am now.
Yep. You have an answer for everything.
Pete.
I suck at HeroClix. I'm honestly not even sure why I'm allowed on the podcast most of the time, but I keep coming back every week. And but for one shining moment, I was carried to the mountaintop, and I am the David Arquette of Clix Champions, and I'm fine with it.
No, you're the road dog.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, I knew. They didn't.
Again, thanks to everyone that came out and showed up and competed, and thanks to everyone that interacted on the stream. And I want to make it a big deal going forward. So keep an eye out for details on ClixMania 2027. And remember,
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!
Brute Heart here. The excellence of free execution. Silver is back on top now that Juiceberg's banned and the game's fun again. Adepticon, event of the year, and salute to Miles and Pete, duos 2v2 champs, both becoming Adepticon gold medalists with broken freaking necks. That's grit. That's glory. That's team supremacy.
So there's a few things that I loved because I used to play D&D when the 3rd edition came out.
nerd.
And it was that they're different kinds of bears. Okay, we had the owl bear. I got my owl bear. I love it. I want to get a bugbear. That's what I really want. So what a bugbear is, it's just like a giant goblin and a bigger orc. I just want to play a bugbear because this is an awesome name.
That's it. Is there a bear?
Is there a what?
A bear?
Yeah, you can have a bear.
Yeah, it has the bottom of a bear and the top of a bear.
Oh, I thought you meant bear, like B-A-R-E.
Oh, yes, just
B-E-A-R.
a naked bear with his naked bear balls hanging out.
Yeah, I'm looking up right now, and I'm pretty sure there is a bear.
Is it named Nick?
Right there.
Are you
It says
sending a
bear,
picture?
but it's truly it's a bear.
Gotcha.